Hello and welcome to It's All Connected, the Marvel, DC, Star Wars recap show here on the Illuminerdi. I am one of your hosts, Bryce West. I am a writer and editor for the Illuminerdi.com, and these are our other hosts.
What's up, guys? Richard Nevins here, another writer at the Illuminerdi, kind of the Marvel guy at the site, but obviously I'm fully Star Wars today, so we got a good show for you guys.
Happy May the 4th, by the way.
Yes, happy May the 4th.
Happy Star Wars Day. I am Caitlin Tyrrell. I'm a writer at the Illuminerdi, and Richard and I are not only on the Marvel watch-along, but we are on the newly released Star Wars watch-along that dropped this morning with the first episode of The Bad Batch. And we'll have the second episode for the watch-along Thursday night at 11:40 p.m. Pacific for episode number 2 of The Bad Batch, which is not a 70-minute episode. So
Thank God.
We might actually get some sleep in between.
Yeah. No offense. I love Star Wars. 70 minutes was a little much for you. That was longer than any of the MCU episodes we've done so far.
Any of the Star Wars episodes that have come out on Disney Plus either. I mean,
seriously.
I think it's the longest Disney Plus episode that they've ever done.
Yeah. Our episode, but we have like a huge amount of news today. We not only are going to be talking about Star Wars, of course, because it is May the 4th. So we have Bad Batch, we have the like celebratory stuff that Disney Plus and Disney put out today, and we also have some rumor about more animated content, which I am totally here for, and I know you guys are.
Oh yeah.
Marvel dropped a trailer that had like 6 huge news releases yesterday, so we're going to be talking
Marvel almost took over Star Wars Day.
Definitely. So we're going to be talking about those. We're going to be talking about some Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. We're going to talk about the new Loki trailer and a few other exciting things. And then on the DC side, we've got some exciting casting news in film and television. And I will be celebrating the Legends of Tomorrow premiere because it was epic, as I expected it to be.
Nice.
That's
but
great.
I think we're going to go straight into Bad Batch because, like we said, that was a monster of an episode, 70 minutes, but totally worth it.
Before we do, I do have a few quick things to plug. First of all, we do have a super chat feature here on the channel, so if that's something that you're wanting to do, that definitely helps out the show and the channel. And of course, we will be reading chat throughout. We'll be reading chat throughout the episode, of course. But if you want to guarantee that your message will be read, the super chat feature is great for that. And Caitlin, I guess, has something else to say about super chats.
If you use the super chat, Richard will read it in his Palpatine voice, and if you watch our Star Wars watch along, it's pretty freaking impressive, guys.
Do it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't. Palpatine's a weirdly fun one. It's a good time. Either the regular Palpatine or the Family Guy Palpatine. Both of them are great.
And if you do super chat, you get to choose which one you want.
Yes.
All right.
And we also have a general show update for everybody. The show is moving. It's not moving channels. It's moving days. We are going to be and times. So we are going to be doing the show. As far as this is what we've discussed today with the higher ups. So as of the recording of the filming of this, the new time for It's All Connected will be Sundays at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. That's as it is right now. You might see the scheduled live streaming. It might be something different, but I'm pretty sure this is what it's gonna be. I'm
keep you updated. We'll keep you updated if there's any change.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, yes, the show is moving time. So if you want to stay connected with It's All Connected, be sure to tune in this Sunday at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time.
We got a double dose this week.
Yes. And now that I'm done butchering that, let's go ahead into Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Holy cow, guys!
Damn.
What a premiere episode. I mean, this was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I said it on the stream. I know I talked about it in my review, and Richard was talking about it in the watch along too. The animation quality on this was just outstanding. Like, you took the season 7 Clone Wars animation quality, which was already top notch, and just elevated it to a whole new degree.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, season 7 of Clone Wars was really, really, really good. Like, I have no complaints about season 7. This was just better. I mean, the details in the landscaping, in the characters, I mean, that was something special in terms of animation quality.
The light from the lightsaber. Josh pointed out during the live stream, you could see the tendrils of smoke coming off of Wrecker when Tarkin was talking to them after he got shot. The snow, even the battle droids in that first battle, like the detail.
That's what impressed me the most. The battle droids
and kind of just the wear and tear on them was something we hadn't seen before. Yeah, so the texture was amazing. Even like the faces, you noticed it.
Yeah.
For the different Bad Batch members. So no, it was just like if you're gonna watch any animated Star Wars stuff just for animation quality alone, this is the one to watch.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of took what they did with Clone Wars and just improved on it even more. Because I mean, whenever Clone Wars came out in 2008, I mean that was extraordinary for animation, you know, and it still holds up fairly well to this day. And we saw with Clone Wars Season 7, it improved a lot with it coming to Disney Plus. And now with Bad Batch, they've taken even Clone Wars Season 7 and made that even better. So, I mean, there's a clear improvement within the animation quality. Again, not to say that it was bad before. I mean, it was great for its time. Clone Wars Season 7 was beautiful as well. But, I mean, this just kind of took it to a whole new level.
Everything before this was good. This one was just that much better. So, and I can't wait to see where they go from here.
100%. And no, the show itself is like, it's fun. You've got, because it's a Bad Batch, of course, you've got like 4 different action scenes, including a food fight, which is just
was that the
ridiculous.
Second food fight in Star Wars animated history?
Yep. You have an introduction of the new character Omega. We get to see the Bad Batch characters like interact more and see more of their dynamic, which we've only really seen in relation to kind of Rex and his angst with finding Echo. And just the episode sets up kind of this world and the time period and the conflict so well. It's just, I think it's a really like top-notch pilot episode.
And we've got our first chat from Shay at the Illuminerdi. Now, I want to give a tiny bit of background on Shay. He's self-proclaimed doesn't like anything. Like, he likes RoboCop, and that's about it. And he said, I liked it, and I can care less for the animated crap.
Well,
so
you can't please everyone.
That's a pretty, like...
Honestly, from what I've heard of Shay...
Exactly.
From what I heard what I've heard of Shay, I haven't interacted with Shay very much, but from what I've hered of Shay, that is the compliment of all compliments.
Absolutely, 100%.
Like so I'm glad he liked it. You know.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because I know that Richard and I said our favorite characters last week was Wrecker, and for me, I think that stayed the same. But what about you guys?
I think it stayed the same for me.
Gotcha.
Omega, is that her name? That's a really interesting character. I'm
really curious about
looking forward to seeing where they're taking her character. I never expected them to do something like that, like have a female clone, and have her join the Bad Batch. So I think that is such a really freaking cool concept, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're doing with that.
No, that's definitely being set up to be very cool. It's set up to be a good new dynamic, a breath of fresh air, and also just kind of this ongoing mystery. And they got a few of those big ongoing stories, even though I think it's going to be similar in the vein of Clone Wars, where it's sort of episodic to a degree. But we've got some like solid ongoing stuff. One of the biggest ones being Crosshair with Order 66.
Damn.
That was a really good twist as well.
Yep.
And speaking of Order 66, one quick thing I want to mention before we go to that. They animated stuff from episode 3 to start off the episode. That to me was so cool. The Grievous scene where he's abandoning ship, Obi-Wan, Anakin. Yeah. That was so cool seeing that movie animated.
Like at the very beginning, and I'm just kind of sitting there going like, did I click on Clone Wars on accident? Like, am I watching the wrong show? Like because it kind of showed Clone Wars Season 7 before I got to Bad Batch, so I was like, did I accidentally click on Clone Wars?
It was Revenge of the Sith animated.
Right. Yeah. Well, but with the narrator and everything, I didn't expect them to keep that.
For sure.
So, Yeah, I kind of had I know I'm pretty sure this is Bad Batch, but it's just like it's still so Clone Wars, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I was theorizing, or maybe I said this in a private conversation or something, but I kind of theorized that this was going to be sort of like Clone Wars season 8, and it really kind of feels like that.
Feels like it.
It feels like it if you've watched Clone Wars, but it also is set up, and like the story is told in a way where you can come into this without having watched any of the animated stuff.
Right.
Josh, who was on the watch along with us, isn't familiar with like the animated Star Wars stuff, but he even said like this was really easy to follow. So if you haven't watched the animated Star Wars stuff, but you do want to get into it, this is definitely the show to watch.
And I'll say this too, like they did a really good job for like people like us who have watched the Clone Wars. I'm so glad I finally get to say us instead of you two.
But keep in mind, a lot of the Clone Wars has been since I was like a young kid. So a lot of this stuff I really need to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
Kind of like you. Well, I guess rewatch it kind of like Caitlin. Because you
I'm the most caught up right now of any of us.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, it was great for people who have watched the whole thing of Clone Wars, watched the whole run, but they did a really good job of setting things up, even if you hadn't watched it. I mean, you know who the Bad Batch are, you know what's going on, you know exactly when it's set in the Star Wars universe, if you know anything about the Star Wars universe. I thought they did a good job on that front.
Yeah. And there were some big moments. We talked a little bit about Crosshair being controlled by Order 66, but they not only had that set up that conflict and had one of the Bad Batch members basically turn against his team.
Bad Batch.
Right? They showed another version of the Order 66 events. And we've seen it with Revenge of the Sith, we've seen it with Clone Wars, and now we have it with Bad Batch. And what was so cool about this moment from Bad Batch is it actually ties into Rebels. Because the Padawan, spoiler alert, the Padawan, Caleb, is actually the main character in Rebels, Kanan Jarrus. So that was a moment that if you're a Rebels fan, it felt just very kind of emotionally like satisfying to finally see this moment that you've heard about or maybe seen in the comics, but never really saw in like the animated content. So that was really exciting. Plus, it was just really well done.
That was a good scene.
Yeah.
And
then, I mean, I was kind of watching it and I couldn't really tell at first because I don't think Caleb Doom and Kanan Jarrus like clicked for me right at first for some reason.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, this is Kanan, this is Freddie Prinze Jr., but they said Caleb, and for some reason I forgot that like he had that Kanan Jarrus wasn't his birth name. Like, and I looked it up. I'm like, who is Caleb Doom? And then I looked it up. I'm like, duh, I already knew that. And so it's just like but it's good because I'm like, that's Freddie Prinze Jr. I know it is, and so but yeah, I mean, but regardless, now that I'm done being kind of an idiot, that is a really cool scene. It was really cool to finally get to see that because they did talk about it a lot in Rebels, and they've kind of showed it in books and comics and stuff. But it's like I've said this on the show I think a couple of times. I'm tired of it going like, well, you got to read the books to see this. It's like, no, this seems like a pretty major plot point. I'd like to actually see it. You know, Star Wars is a movie franchise, and then now we're getting TV shows and stuff like that. But it started off as movies, so I'd like to see this kind of stuff. You know,
I do understand where you're coming from, and I agree to a certain extent, but I would argue Star Wars is not simply a movie and TV franchise.
Right,
anymore.
But it's just what it started off as.
I'd say that's the core of it.
Seen as, you know, I mean, yes, it is a multimedia franchise, but the majority of people, like the general audience who's going to watch Star Wars stuff, is going to watch Star Wars, not read Star Wars.
I will say, like, the Star Wars is the one franchise so far. I think Marvel is going to get there, you know, with all the Disney Plus stuff, but that the one franchise that's been able to interconnect all this kind of stuff between different media. Like for Star Wars Day, of course, I had TV on and it was on Star Wars. I had episode 3 going and it was super cool after watching Bad Batch last night, seeing that, you know, thinking about that along with the stuff in episode 3 with Palpatine and everything.
Definitely.
That was kind of a cool extra thing to it.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And with Palpatine, I mean, we saw his speech in the Bad Batch, which was very cool. But we also got to see really kind of the long-term effects of Order 66 because we've seen it in the short term. It's the Jedi Purge, but we really saw, this is the start of Stormtroopers. And we got that answer that Bryce has been wanting so badly of why we went from clone troopers to stormtroopers.
Because they cost too much.
It's financial, which completely makes sense if you've watched Clone Wars, because throughout Clone Wars, that has been a plot point for the Senate.
Finances.
So, I mean, like the fact that the clones cost a lot, and it totally makes sense because Palpatine was using the clones and the Clone War to manipulate the entire galaxy. But it was just really cool to get that answer, because for so long there have been theories about, oh, it's Jango Fett got killed. Oh, it's they age rapidly, which does come into play in how they kind of, I think, retire them and have the next like first batch of like non-clone stormtroopers come in. But to actually get that answer is
for sure
really it's like you said, Bryce, I want to see that stuff.
And I do. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little dissatisfied. I wish it was something cooler, but it makes sense. So I mean, the fact is like, oh well, clones cost money, you know, and so it's just like, like, oh man, really, that's it? That's why they went to stormtroopers, but.
Weirdly enough, though, I think that might be the most realistic answer.
I know,
of anything that they could have done.
Well, you do have to think about it, because yes, it's financial, but it also came down to the fact that the Galactic Empire already know they're powerful enough that they can conscript soldiers, which essentially means they can go force people to draft in the Imperial Army. So yes, it's financial, but it's also this moment of, holy crap, they like literally announced themselves 10 minutes ago, and they've already like decided that they can do this because of what they did to the galaxy. So I do think it has this kind of overall like mythology element to it that really is going to be fun to explore. But I mean, that's the time period in general, because we're really exploring this new time period of the Empire rising to power. And we got to see
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Keep going. Oh,
I was just going to say, we got to see like, yes, the Empire is rising to power, and I'm sure that's going to continue. We also got to see the rebellion is like really getting started. Now too.
Blackwing 2040 is in the chat. He says, "Yo, Bryce, he's my one of my co-hosts on Retro Sentai Wrap Up, fellow Illuminerdian. Is that a thing now? I don't know. I just made it. And he says, I liked the premiere. It was great. I loved it too. We all did. I knew Crosshairs was going to be on my hate list.
He's the only Bad Batch member to make sense be evil. His voice is too sinister.
Yeah, it's true.
He made the most sense of, if any of them were going to turn bad, it seemed like it would have been Crosshairs, because he's just got a kind of dick vibe to him.
Also, the fact that he's a sniper, he's already like somewhat separated from the rest of the crew. The rest of the Bad Batch goes into fights, they battle, like they are always right next to each other. He's picking off the enemy one by one. So yes, he's definitely part of the team, or was, but he's still disconnected.
Like, think Minerva from Captain Marvel, if you're a Marvel fan.
There you go.
Yeah. You also have, like, it kind of makes sense if any of them were going to have the chip actually work, it's him, because sharpshooting abilities, I'm pretty sure they just enhanced, like, his sight. So that probably wouldn't mess with the brain as much.
Plus, he probably gets into the least like physical combat out of anybody, just from being a sniper, so less danger of the ship having anything happen to it.
Real quick. This might be a stupid question, and I didn't watch the Bad Batch Clone Wars episodes right before this, so I'm a little rusty on this because I watched it last year. What is Hunter's ability?
Senses. He has enhanced senses.
Heightened senses.
Okay, so, because he seems the most normal out of everybody. I was just like, I forgot what his special ability was. So he
definitely is the most normal, but heightened senses.
Like, one of the things they make a point about in the Bad Batch arc in season 7 of Clone Wars is he can sense like electromagnetic
droids. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Also, probably honestly his leadership skills, because I don't think any of the other clones on the Bad Batch could actually lead the team.
Yeah, I mean, they're all great fighters, but yeah.
Real quick, Blackwing says, I really thought all 5 of them would stay together. Now they switch one person for Omega. I feel like at the very beginning, like I was sensing something was going on with Crosshair.
Yeah, the second Order 66 happens, and he says, "Good soldiers follow orders." You're like, boom! That immediately tied me to that season 6 story arc with 5s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's funny with me is I don't think I'm shocked that it happened. But I'm kind of shocked they did it in episode 1. Like, that they did it that quick, that they had somebody turn on the team.
Keep in mind, episode 1 was also like 3 episodes. Like, well, at least the length of 3 episodes, you know. So
fair enough, yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I like that we have that conflict because the Bad Batch really has, seems like four major conflicts at this point. You have there's soldiers with no army and no war. Mm-hmm. The Empire is rising to power, so that's causing conflicts in the galaxy. They have this kid they got to take care of now, and they have no idea. And now they're getting chased by Crosshair. Like, they have a lot to deal with.
Yep.
For sure.
I like this personal element to it.
But maybe they'll get some help along the way, because we mentioned it and then we kind of sidebarred a little bit. But Saw Gerrera and the Rebels.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we really had the rebellion getting teased.
Maybe Captain Rex.
Well, we saw him in the trailer. We did see him in the trailer.
Definitely Captain Rex then.
Yeah. Well, we didn't see him, and we didn't see Fennec Shand, right?
True. Yeah.
So they were both in the trailers.
I totally agree with Blackwing. He said Fives was the GOAT. Yep.
Fives was definitely in the GOAT conversation.
For sure. But yeah, like we really saw, oh wow, the rebellion starts immediately. It's not something that had to build over the time, because I sort of expected it to...
Oh, sorry. 1 second, guys.
No worry. I kind of expected it to be building over time, not something that immediately happened. What about you, Bryce?
Yeah, I could definitely see where you're coming from. I never really thought of it, so I didn't really have any opinions on it, but yeah, it is interesting. I feel like, if they survived and they've kind of been shunned by the now Empire, I think they've got to form something pretty quick. I feel like they've got to come together and make some sort of group. They're not calling themselves the Rebellion though. So I mean, these are just kind of people who have defected.
Well, they said that there's going to be a civil war. So we know that it's going to be people fighting. We don't have a full, actual, cohesive rebellion until, like, season 2 of Rebels, I think. Spoilers. But, like, the fact that we are really seeing people going, no, we're going to fight back. And I liked his reasoning. He's like, Palpatine just declared himself emperor. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, because that's something where it hasn't really been mentioned. I mean, even if you watch Revenge of the Sith, when he's like, I'm the emperor now, everyone in the Senate's like, yay! And then Padme's like, this isn't great, but that's about it. That's all we see. To have Saw go, that's bullshit. We're not doing that. It's something that I found really satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Blackwing says, Rex is in the trailer. Oh shoot, I was hoping to see him again. Well, that's good. Well, good, because he's going to be in here. I'm
excited to see Rex.
Now I don't think Ahsoka Tano was in the trailer, but it's a Dave Filoni project, so she's going to be in it.
I think so too.
It'd be cool seeing Ahsoka again.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it makes sense.
I expect Ahsoka. There were rumors of Bo-Katan. That makes sense, especially since she's gonna, I assume, be in Mandalorian season 3 in some capacity.
Yeah, Boba Fett would be cool as well.
Right? Like, I think they have a really good chance to set up a lot of cool stuff for the live action shows in this series.
Because, I mean, we're getting Fennec. I mean, obviously, Boba and Fennec didn't meet until The Mandalorian, which is like a ways off.
Right.
But now they have their own show.
Yeah. So,
but they know of each other.
Yeah, maybe. So, I mean, yeah, I'd be surprised if we don't see Boba Fett at some point. I mean, he was in Clone Wars, so...
Yeah.
It'd be a crime if Ahsoka didn't show up. You know what? I kind of agree. I do like me some Ahsoka.
Well, Boba Fett could be really interesting, too, because I'm assuming Fennec is chasing them, not helping them, just because of her reputation. Yeah. Like, she's known as an assassin who worked for crime families. I don't see her being like, I'll help this plucky group of ragtag people. Like, she's going to be like... Oh, there's a bounty on their head? Great, I'll shoot him.
Well, plus Ming-Na Wen isn't exactly, outside of Mulan, isn't known for playing, like, plucky family characters, so, right?
I don't know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she gets there. It takes a minute, but she gets there.
It takes about 4 or 5 seasons. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love May. I mean, May is one of my favorite Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters. But
I think it's going to be even longer. It's going to take until, like, Boba Fett for her to have any sort of bond with anyone.
With anybody.
Not even familial, just a bond.
Well, and even in Mando, it kind of happened out of nowhere. Like, Boba kind of rescues her, and then they're best friends the next time we see them. So
debt to a degree. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna help him because he saved my life," and you're like, "Okay,
right?"
Like it makes sense, but okay.
Oh man,
And then real quick, but I think Boba Fett would be very cool because even if they don't know each other, if there's bounty hunters going after them and you have them competing against each other,
that'd be
that'd
awesome.
be insane. You could
Do
also
it.
bring in Cad Bane.
I was just about to say I want to see Cad Bane come back.
I've got to assume that he will. I mean, because I mean, it's a direct Clone Wars. But I mean, it's not like Rebels where this takes place like years and years and years after. Like, so
Yeah.
I've got to assume that Cad Bane. I mean, it's close enough. Like, I mean, this takes place right after. Like literally, like the events of Order 66 are happening at the beginning of the show, so it's not too far off. So
What about
he's a character that we don't ever see again, so he has way
Right.
more free reign.
Yeah.
What about Asajj Ventress? Do you think we could see her pop up in this one? Or
Okay, spoiler alert: Ventress is dead.
God damn it!
Oh, right. That happened in some book,
It
right?
happened in a book, and it's canon. So just spoiler alert: Ventress is dead. Hi, Thomas Franco.
Well,
what's going on, Thomas?
Thanks for that, and thank you, Star Wars books, for ruining that for me.
It's actually a very cool story because
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. But you think that's something we want to see on screen, maybe?
Here's the thing, though.
They still can.
Maybe we do. Maybe we will in the
because
future.
a lot of Clone Wars season 7 was like the original plot for Clone Wars season 7 was put into like books and comic books, and then they did Clone Wars season 7, right? So
Right. Oh man.
So they can still do it.
And we will talk about that a little bit later in the Star Wars block because I agree with you. I do want to see it, Richard, and that it seems like that could potentially be possible. So we will be talking about that soon.
She's a cool character.
Sure.
Blackwing, for sure, read the book because you will see that.
Yeah, I guess I got to add that to my reading list, right?
Because Blackwing said that he was hoping to see her get redeemed. That is part of the book.
Oh God. Oh man. And this book probably came out years ago, right? Or something.
Yeah, it's not new.
Yeah, of course it's not.
No, I was thrown too. I found that out like, I don't know, sometime this week when I was doing research, and I was like, what?
Sorry, what?
They killed off a main character in a book.
Right?
Exactly. Like, she played such a big role in Clone Wars. You'd think that they wouldn't relegate that to a book.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure when that book was written, Clone Wars season 7 wasn't even a discussion.
No, it wasn't.
Right, yeah.
So
I'm going to find the name of the book, Blackwing, 1 second.
It's Dark Disciple,
Okay.
right? I think that's what it is. I might be completely wrong. that's a Star Wars
Yes, you're
book.
right. Star Wars Dark Disciple.
Yeah.
Okay, Dark Disciple.
Christy Golden.
Yeah.
All right, Christy
I knew
Golden.
that book existed. I didn't know that she died in it. So yeah. So and it involves the other dude, the one dude with the yellow.
Yeah,
eyes, right?
it's the Jedi who worked with Obi-Wan to hunt down Zero Hutt. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, right. No, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of the name.
But yeah, so no, I haven't read the book yet, but the synopsis, it seems really freaking cool. So definitely something to read.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at that, Richard. You have more Star Wars to add to your list.
Yep.
And
Yes, I do.
Book, so you can't even multicast.
I was literally gonna tease the fact that this could be involved in another project that we're gonna talk about, but then I realized that Caitlin already did that, and so maybe this could be. Maybe we could talk about this later on the show. And then I go, wait a minute, Caitlin literally already said
too late.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
But is there anything else we want to talk about from the Bad Batch pilot before we move on? Because we're gonna talk about a lot of the stuff, I think, in the next 2 months.
Segment, yeah.
Because spoiler alert, it was announced that this show is gonna be 16 episodes.
That's a lot.
So it looks like it's going through July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides, I do think, I don't think we talked about Omega a lot. We kind of mentioned that, yeah, she's cool. But
no, I'm excited for her.
What do we actually think they're doing with her character? Like, she is such an intriguing, like, I never could have guessed they were going to go down this route. So,
me neither.
Like a female clone. Like, that's awesome. Like,
yeah, there's 5 enhanced clones, 4 of which are the original Bad Batch, not including Echo, and then the 5th being Omega.
Mhm.
She's a girl, so I'm curious if it means she's actually a clone of Jango Fett, and they like change the chromosome, or if she's going to be a clone of someone else entirely.
Yeah. Like, I'm curious to see if she connects up with anybody like other than Jango Fett in the end.
Yeah, I think that the enhancements, I think
Bo-Katan.
I think intuition is going to be something, because she was really intuitive throughout the episode. She was able to shoot the blaster after never having picked it up before, so that's
for sure
going to be something. And then I think this is a way that they could start playing with Force clones.
That could be something.
You know?
That'd be cool.
Because we know that is something that they get into in the sequel trilogy.
Oh, really?
Which is not our favorite, but...
Really?
Because this is coming out after that, like in our world, not in the world of Star Wars, obviously. That's definitely something they could potentially like play with, which I think would be cool. You know what I want to see, but I don't know if we would necessarily see because it's not involved in like the Bad Batch specifically. I want to see the Inquisitors start.
That'd be cool.
That would definitely be cool.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see kind of the administrative side of the like Empire Rising and how that affects the galaxy, but I want to see like the Force stuff too.
I kind of want to see Bad Batch kind of be its own standalone thing and let the Mandalorian fix the sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't go on a long sequel rant, so I'll just keep it there.
Yeah.
Not our favorite. That's what
we're on the verge of going on a sequel rant almost every week.
I hate the stupid. The prequels are better than the sequel. Anyway,
Anyways.
We're gonna move on from that. Bad Batch is 16 episodes. Yippee!
Yeah.
You
know the thing I think that's crazy about Bad Batch, about Bad Batch being 16 episodes is we're talking about this like planning for our show, but at the same time we're gonna have Bad Batch, Loki, and Black Widow all to talk about at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be nuts.
And we will keep you guys updated on the actual like logistics of it, but there will be a Marvel watch along and Star Wars watch along going at the same time when Loki is on.
Yeah, they're probably going to be on different days, like probably a day apart from each other, but we'll keep you updated on the specifics.
Yeah. But no, I think that is our major stuff for the premiere of Bad Batch. I mean, I think we can all agree, like,
solid episode.
Yeah, no, it was pretty. Yeah, I mean, it was like a Bad Batch.
At the very least, an 8 out of 8 or a 9. So but really solid.
Real quick, before we do move on, Blackwing has something to say about the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors have been starting up in the Darth Vader comic, from 2017. It's actually really good. So
awesome! I will be checking that out. Thank you, Blackwing.
For sure.
We can see some of that in the shows too, because I like to see that stuff on screen, and I don't have to. I like not having to read everything, So
you and me both.
Do you? That hasn't come up at all today.
Yeah, it's weird. So
you know what?
Little fact about me.
At least that's mostly just been today. It's just been kind of a today thing.
A little known fact about me too. I don't like the sequels. I don't know if you knew this about me.
God.
Our next piece of Star Wars, I guess you could say news, is something that they're actually doing in the comics a little bit. It looks like they are like alluding to Snoke being connected to Luke's severed hand.
As if the sequels were stupid enough.
Alrighty then.
We gotta add this crap. I kind of thought that's what Grogu was supposed to be, and now we're adding this in. So I'm just kind of like, what the hell?
Man.
I don't really care.
It was in Darth Vader issue 11. That they have him surrounded by, it looks like, Snoke like clones, and he's also got Luke's severed hand. My biggest question with that is, didn't it fall like out of the spaceship? How'd he get it?
Well,
that's a that's a great question, because it fell through the through that giant tube,
like
right?
Cloud City, right?
Yeah. Well, it was when he was fighting Darth Vader. I think it was Cloud City. Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually Cloud City cleanup crew that picked it up.
They were just like, "What is this? Here you go."
Oh, God. Just watch. It landed in like a floating trash bin or something.
Yeah, Lando goes, "Wait a minute."
But the reason that I thought we should talk about this a little bit is like exactly what Bryce brought up. It felt like they were doing that with Grogu.
Yeah.
So could it be that there's multiple avenues with it? Is it Grogu? Is it the hand? And maybe even Omega in this? I mean, it would make sense to have a lot of different options, but...
Right, for sure.
Right. My kind of whole thing with it is, if this is true and this is the kind of the case of like how the Snoke clones got made and stuff like that, my thing is that I think it would have really been cool to see this in the movies where they were talking about all of this and Snoke was actually in those then he goes and then I'm cut in half and then Palpatine's like, oh, I've been using clones to evil Snoke clones, and it's just like, and now I'm a clone, so maybe I'm a Snoke clone too. It's just like, okay. Anyway, sorry.
Unnatural.
Blackwing asked. It actually landed somewhere. We're assuming.
Yeah.
I haven't read the comic. I saw this and was just taken aback because I was very interested and confused. But
so
I'm assuming it landed somewhere.
So that's kind of dumb. I think having it be Grogu would have been really cool. And if they made it to where the Snoke clones were kind of prototypes for the eventual Palpatine clone, I felt like that's kind of how I was making sense of things. And now this is just kind of like, we're back to the sequels again. Who knows what the hell's going on? I mean,
somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah, don't even get me started, Richard.
I wouldn't mind it if it was kind of this moment of they're trying different things to see what's going to have the most
traction.
Force. Yeah, like what version of the clone is going to have the most Force abilities.
Yeah.
So I think in that way it could be interesting. I think it's just the fact that it's connected to Luke is cool. Like you said, that would have been nice to see in the movies. If it's referenced somehow in Mandalorian, that'd be interesting. But I don't know how we would, because spoiler alert, Darth Vader's dead.
Well, Luke isn't, I guess. So
yeah, 35-year-old.
Why would he know his hand is there? He's just like rolls up. Hey, I've been looking for that.
Okay,
my God.
I got no idea, man.
I don't know.
I just try to make sense of this crap as we go, and it just keeps coming. So, like, I thought with Mandalorian they were doing something really cool with it, and it was finally gonna make sense, and now it's just like I have no idea what the hell's going on.
And it's back.
I think it could still be cool. I'm not sure necessarily how much we're going to get into it with Mandalorian because I don't know how much of Grogu we're going to see in the next season.
Right, for sure.
Oh, that piece of it sort of makes sense to me to explore different options. I mean, it's sort of, they set up the Inquisitors back in Clone Wars when Palpatine was grabbing Force-sensitive kids, so I think this is just kind of in that similar vein of setting up stuff in the future, because I'm sure they're going to have shows that take place during the sequels time period, so this is kind of a way to set the stage for that, I think.
The rumored Luke Skywalker show, or Luke Academy show, and so they could explore that more there. That would be actually kind of interesting to see how they would handle kind of some of the stuff like Leia. You would think that she would be a pretty important factor in all that, but obviously she's not around anymore, so I don't know how they would handle that.
Well, I don't think they'd necessarily be using Mark Hamill de-aged the whole time. I wouldn't be shocked if they did.
That'd be really expensive.
I want them to use Sebastian Stan. They never will.
You know what?
He looks so much like Mark Hamill.
I am not against Sebastian Stan taking over for Luke Skywalker
I think it'd be
if they wanted to do that.
And I think they could do something similar with Leia. I think they could recast.
I think if they're doing a Luke Skywalker show, I mean, if they want to take Sebastian Stan and minorly adjust the face, because you don't really need to do too much for Sebastian. He already looks like Mark Hamill.
It's more the hair.
So
throw a wig on him and he'd be fine.
So just minorly adjust the face to make him look more like Luke, and then do that.
But it's not much. I mean, if for people who haven't seen the picture, look at the picture of, I think they melded Sebastian Stan and Mark Hamill's face together or something like that. They're damn near identical. It's kind of scary.
My only issue is that I think that they would have Mark Hamill voice Luke still, and I don't know if Sebastian Stan would want to, because that'd be kind of sucky. You play Luke Skywalker and it's not even your voice, you know.
That'd be a little weird, yeah.
Yeah, and he's a big name actor, so I mean, it's not like Sebastian Stan is some nobody that they just got Mark Hamill.
He's the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. So I don't know. That'd be weird.
But we've gone a little bit off onto a tangent. So I think the main thing we wanted to talk about with this was it looks like they're still exploring kind of the midichlorian stuff. And I wouldn't be shocked to see that pop up in Bad Batch. I think Bad Batch is going to be a little more separate from the Force as a series, but I think it would be cool to at least kind of tease out some of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes with the Force aspect of the Empire.
I know we saw sorry, just real quick. I know we saw a few of the Jedi in this first episode. I actually wouldn't be shocked if we kind of don't for the rest of the series.
I think Ahsoka would be really the only one I expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, if any, I could see Ahsoka, but that's about it, honestly.
Maybe Kanan.
Yeah. No, I don't think so, because
I was about
stays away from clones.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Blackwing said, "Is it bad that I want a solo Vader project?" No, that
was actually called the prequels. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. I think it would be cool. I really loved the hallway scene in Rogue One. That was amazing. Yeah. I love that.
I am curious to see if because Hayden Christensen's coming back in Obi-Wan. Yes, I'm curious to see if they're maybe possibly opening the door for something like that.
For sure.
Yes, that'd be cool.
That could totally be an Obi-Wan spinoff.
I honestly, I would be down for a Vader spinoff if it kind of leads off of Obi-Wan. That'd be really cool.
I can see that working.
I think we answered Blackwing's question.
There we go, Blackwing.
We want a TV show.
This is actually an exclusive here on the show. It's confirmed that we're getting a Vader show, and it's going to be a spinoff of Obi-Wan.
Nope.
Not happening.
Nope. No. What's confirmed is we want a Vader spinoff.
Yeah, we would love that to happen, but we have no inside information on it at all.
It's a joke for the
that would be very cool though, because it's like Vader when he's still like, of course he's got the whole anger stuff, but because I know in the comics they explore a little bit of him dealing with like the emotional side of losing his family and joining the dark side and losing like all the Jedi and everything. So I think really seeing that would be very interesting.
I think it'd be cool for them to do something similar to the Vader fan film that came out a couple years back. They really kind of went into like all of that and like the kind of like the psychological stuff behind Vader, and I think that's something that hasn't been explored and needs to be. I know they've done it in the comics and stuff, but I think that's something that really would be awesome to be actually be able to actually see and watch.
I did
real quick before we get back on track. I'm really excited to see what they do with Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader outside of the George Lucas bubble. I think him and Obi-Wan is going to be really cool, and I think honestly it could maybe set a path for him to do more projects later on.
I would
100% agree with you on that. I also would like to see him kind of I'd like to see him in two kind of roles in Obi-Wan. I definitely Vader, but I wouldn't mind having Obi-Wan kind of haunted by like
the ghost of Anakin.
Yeah, like this hallucination of his friend that he kind of failed.
That'd be cool.
You know?
Like Anakin, like right as he's turning to the dark side, kind of.
Yeah, like maybe Obi-Wan kind of recalling, there were definitely moments, there were signs I should have picked up on.
That'd be super cool.
Should I have fought harder against him and Padme, or should I have been more supportive. and helpful, and how should I have gone about it? Because I think that's something we haven't really seen Obi-Wan struggle with, the fact that his Padawan killed the entire Jedi.
Yeah. You know? Like, you know what's funny? I hadn't thought about that. I really want that in the show now, like a psychological thriller part of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, breaking news, Caitlin Tyrrell is the head writer of Obi-Wan now. This is an exclusive here on the show. Joke.
God, if any of us got to write any of these projects, holy crap.
If anyone out of the three of us got to write an Obi-Wan project, it should be Caitlin. So,
I can't disagree there.
I would have never come up with that stuff.
No, I never
that's
come
awesome.
up with that.
Like, honestly, if I don't see that, I'm gonna be disappointed now because
you raised our hopes up, Caitlin.
Yeah, Caitlin, thanks. Thanks for giving us a freaking kick-ass idea for an Obi-Wan show, I guess. I don't know.
But anyway, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
No, I think we're all really excited. Really quickly before we move on to what Disney Plus dropped today for Star Wars, what Disney Plus shows are you guys looking forward to? Like top 2 or 3
for Star Wars?
Yeah,
Obi-Wan's my top one.
In the Star Wars section.
I could leave again on my own volition, but like a non-emergent. Anyways. Now, considering I'm still catching up on a lot of the Star Wars stuff, I still have a few projects to go.
Sure.
But what I know so far, definitely Obi-Wan. That's easily my top one.
I almost see Obi-Wan as cheating because obviously he's Obi-Wan. So I'm gonna give my second most anticipated, which is an oddball pick. I think we've actually talked about this before, but it's Lando. I'm really intrigued on what they're gonna do with that show. Lando was definitely not my favorite character in the original trilogy, but I think, seeing him in Solo and seeing him in Rise, I think to see the two of them both be the focus, like have it be an anthology series and show kind of Lando throughout his time as a, what would you want to call him? A space guy, a smuggler.
Smuggler, yeah.
I think that'd be really cool to kind of see both Donald Glover and Billy D. Williams versions of the character. I think that'd be a really cool thing to see. I loved Donald Glover as Lando.
Donald Glover killed it.
In Solo. And so like the one thing besides like a Kira Darth Maul spinoff, what that I really wanted to see from Solo was Lando. And it does seem like we're getting something Lando. And so just kind of with the fact that I don't really know what to expect, and the fact that they have some really cool directions that they can go with it. I think for me it's Lando. Blackwing in the chat says Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and Boba Fett. Those are really good choices as well.
All great choices.
Live action Ahsoka is going to be sick.
I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most, because I love Ahsoka and I also love the Rebels characters, and I'm like, I assume we're getting Sabine because that makes sense since they're trying to find Ezra and Thrawn. Not including Sabine seems weird.
Okay.
So I think Ahsoka's my biggest one. I might be most like intrigued or curious about the Rangers of the New Republic, just because it feels like most of the other series we have at least some emotional tie to it. Like Boba Fett is obviously Boba Fett and also Fennec. Like Mandalorian, we have already met all these characters. Ahsoka is obvious. Obi-Wan's obvious. We don't really know anything about the Rangers of the New Republic.
That'll be probably like the newest project.
Well, you brought that up, and that kind of reminded me of something else that I really intrigued me whenever they announced it was the Acolyte.
Yeah,
that one also is one that I'm really looking forward
to. New.
Like the end of what is it? The High Republic, right?
Yeah,
it's the very end of the High Republic. Only like 10 years before Phantom.
Right.
So
this is like prequels.
Yeah.
The High Republic is the publishing like thing that's going on, where it's
books and comic books and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like set 300 years or something before the Skywalker saga. So the Acolyte is the end of that. So like kind of in Bad Batch, we're seeing the rise of the Empire. With Acolyte, it's the rise of the Sith.
That'd be super cool.
I'm really looking forward to that because I'm knowing nothing about the show. I could be completely wrong on this, but I'm kind of looking at that as sort of like a live action Clone Wars. Because with all the Jedi and the rise of the Sith and stuff like that, I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of Jedi, a lot of lightsabers.
I think it's going to be similar. I think without taking out the war aspect, I think it'll be similar, but more like
I mean, obviously.
More espionage.
Like a spy show, okay.
Clone Wars is a war story, definitely for sure. So not in that regard, but more. We're gonna be seeing a lot of Jedi in this, and we don't really get to see that besides the prequels and live action. So I think that's something I'm really looking forward to. I mean, it hasn't been something we've seen since Revenge of the Sith. In live action, so I think that's something I'm really looking forward to. And Blackman also mentioned Boba Fett. I mean, that's something that people have been asking for since probably Empire. So
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's definitely gonna be really cool for people to finally see as well. And Tamura Morrison absolutely killed it. Did I pronounce that right? In Mandalorian.
Yeah, pretty sure.
So he's gonna do a really great job.
Yeah. Also, with him, just real quick, he's been in Star Wars, DC. Now we need to get him into a Marvel project so we can talk about him in every portion of our show. Yeah, I just saw Aquaman on TV the other day, and I forgot that he's Aquaman's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's Moana's dad, so there's that connection.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's everybody's dad.
Well, so we're going to talk a little bit about how Disney and Disney Plus celebrated Star Wars Day today. They dropped a few new like not fully shows, but kind of a short, and I would say almost experiences.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about those a little bit, Bryce?
Yeah, so I mean, they did a couple ones. I know one of them was I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's
So
like
biomes. Biomes is one of them.
Biomes is it, and it's kind of like just kind of like scenery kind of things, like just kind of something that you put on the background. And so it's kind of cool. Just it's almost like a glorified screensaver.
Well, it's almost like kind of without the ride aspect of it. It's like Soarin' from the Disney World and Disneyland.
Oh, like Soarin' mixed with Star Tours a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one, I'm blanking on both of these names.
I know because I wrote about it. Give me 2 seconds.
Star Wars vehicle fly-through.
Vehicle fly-throughs, that's it.
And so it's kind of the same thing, but with like the ships and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get to go through the Millennium Falcon and the Death Star. And they also dropped a Simpsons-themed short.
Yeah.
Right.
Force Awakens from its nap. So I think that's like targeted straight at Richard personally.
It's funny. I've always been kind of a more Family Guy than Simpsons thing, but I bet the Simpsons are going to do a hell of a job with that. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to watching it.
But another thing Disney Plus did that was really, really interesting, and definitely, in my opinion, kind of the coolest way to celebrate this holiday, because it is 100% fan based. If you go to Disney Plus right now and you look at the art for the different shows and movies and even the Star Wars banner as a whole, it's fan commissioned art. So
cool. I did not know that.
Yes. So it's for Clone Wars, it's for Rebels, it's for the Clone Wars movie, it's Mandalorian.
I think it's everything except Bad Batch.
Yeah, literally all of it, but Bad Batch, which kind of makes sense because it's new. But you can really see this, like, how the different fans interpret the movies and the shows and what they think is important and all of that.
Look at that right now.
And like, they're beautiful. They're just they're absolutely stunning. So
I have a certain appreciation for like visual artists like that, because to be perfectly honest, I can't draw for crap.
Me neither.
But
wow, just the Star Wars one, I'm looking at it right now. This is oh my gosh, this is so cool.
The Star Wars banner alone
stuff.
is
Check it out.
Wow.
So basically, all you do is go to the homepage of Disney Plus, either on the homepage there or the Star Wars page, and you can check all of it out. It's so good.
Gosh, this
definitely
is so
recommend it.
I love this.
It's definitely worth, even like, you don't have time to watch literally all of Star Wars content tonight, but it is worth it to look at the banners themselves.
Take 5-10 minutes and scroll through them.
Yeah, this is so cool. I'm just doing it right now.
But we definitely wanted to kind of show our appreciation to the fans, and the artists.
Incredible work.
It's so well done, and I mean, we're fans. So whenever we see places really celebrating people like us, it's exciting. It's fun.
Absolutely.
And another thing that I think a lot of Star Wars fans are going to be excited about is a lightsaber. Is that right, Richard?
Yeah, pretty sure. So basically, I can't remember who exactly it was that made it, but basically, it's making the most realistic lightsaber that anybody's ever seen, like using like modern day technology and real world technology and stuff like that. I mean, like, obviously, if you've been to Disneyland, you can do the whole make your own lightsaber thing, which now that I feel more like a Star Wars fan, I can't wait to do that myself. I mean, that's going to be awesome. But I mean, this lightsaber tech is absolutely crazy. It's at Disney World, if I'm not mistaken.
It will be.
It will be at Disney World, right, in 2022.
Yeah, it is going to be part of the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser at the Walt Disney World Resort. It's this 2-night all immersive vacation. So you basically get to step into the world of Star Wars. And Disney also released not only a promo with the lightsaber, which it's definitely worth checking out because that thing looks legit.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah, it looks so cool.
I mean, this is the closest we've gotten to a real lightsaber that obviously isn't actual weapon. It's still a prop or a toy or whatever you want to call it. But
it's the closest thing to real we've got.
Yes.
Let's never get to the point where we're putting out the kind that can cut someone's arm off.
Have you seen those YouTube videos?
Let's hope we don't.
People have made them.
I don't want those to be public
Well, no, they're not public. It's
Yeah.
some dude in his garage. But
No, I
Nope.
get what you're
they're
saying,
really
but I
cool.
never want to get to the point where just the general public have access to that.
Seriously,
Yeah.
because
No,
we would
I
all
agree.
kill each other.
It's gonna have a lot of Siths just roaming around
A
the
lot of
world.
Sith.
Oh yeah, a lot of Sith.
But so this Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, Disney released not only the promo with the lightsaber, they released concept art, and it included the dining area, which literally looks like you're stepping onto a Star Cruiser from the world of Star Wars. So
I think this takes the new world of Disneyland to a whole new level.
Definitely. And it really feels like Disney is really jumping into this whole immersive experience, which I'm really excited for, because you have it not to this extent, obviously, but like the Avengers campus, which is opened. Sorry. Because it opened April 30th, right?
No, Disneyland opened April 30th. Avengers campus opens June 4th.
June 4th, right.
Oh.
So Avengers campus you have opening, and then just like the Star Wars land is amazing. Like you get to literally step into, it feels like another planet. So
it's so cool.
It's very exciting. So the fact that they're now going to have this really immersive 2-night experience is something that I think is epic.
What's the name of the place at Disney World? Because that's the one that I've been to. I can't remember what it's called. Do you guys know?
I think they're called the same thing.
It's the same thing? So is it the same park, just different locations?
I think so right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. At least with obviously the Star Wars stuff. Obviously Disneyland and World are two different things. But so cool. So then I know exactly what you're talking about because I've been there. In Florida. So
yeah.
So yeah, it is actually really cool. And I remember I was holding I bought a lightsaber. Obviously because I was there, and I had to, and I was holding it by the lightsaber blade. Just because I was walking around, I was just holding it, and some person right in front of the store, or whatever, like some Jedi lightsaber salesperson or whatever, goes like, "Wow, you must be really strong in the Force," because I'm holding the lightsaber by the blade.
The saber part, not the handle.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I got some dirty looks from some stormtroopers as well. It was a lot of fun.
That's great.
Galaxy's Edge. That's what it's called. Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge. Yes.
But yeah, so this is just like the next level of that. So definitely check out the concept art, check out the lightsaber, and as we said before, check out the Disney Plus fan art. But I think our last big Star Wars thing is a rumor that we're all pretty excited about, and we kind of touched upon earlier. Looks like they might have some more Star Wars animated content, which they're saying is like animated movies. In development.
Ventures.
Now
that Richard mentioned it, we need a Ventures movie now, ASAP.
100%.
Oh yeah, I'm so down for a Ventures movie.
I mean, because it says movies in quotes, so I think what they could do with that kind of thing is literally kind of the arcs that they maybe turned into books or comics. They could really just have these like 90-minute movies, and we could get Ventress, we could get more Ahsoka, we could get more, and you had the actor that voices Anakin Skywalker in Clone Wars teasing that he's working on stuff, so maybe it's Bad Batch, but maybe it's this, so we might get some more prequel era stuff too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, give us more animated Star Wars. It's some of the best Star Wars content.
What if we get an animated Darth Vader movie?
I'd be down for that.
I prefer
I'd be
live
really
action,
down for that.
but I mean, if we're gonna get a Darth Vader movie and it has to be animated, then so be it. You know,
I'll take it.
Yeah,
Matt Lanter does a really, really good Darth Vader, like Anakin Skywalker. So I would be.
He does. He's a really good Anakin.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite arcs for him in Clone Wars is that weird where they're on the Force planet and he finds out about becoming Darth Vader and just the devastation.
Yeah, that was crazy. What, season 6, I think, or 5, maybe?
5. It's like 5 or 4.
This announcement actually kind of surprised me a little bit. I wasn't expecting them.
Me too.
I mean, obviously, like, I knew that they were going all in on Star Wars, but I didn't expect for them to do animated movies because obviously we haven't had one since 2008. And really, that was just a 2-hour-long pilot. So... and not a good one. Anyway, the rest of the show is good.
I almost feel like the Bad Batch pilot is kind of a test run for that. Like they can see what people
it could
think.
be.
And
It was,
and it was a
70
much better
minutes.
attempt at it too. So
yeah. And I also think it's a good way to kind of test out, like, unless you're doing contained stories, like for example Ventress, it's a good way to test out the possibility of like you do a movie before a series.
Right.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think in the long run it worked with Clone Wars, but I think now they have the formula better where it could work like right from the start with other series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
I'm
and
down.
I mean,
I think this is awesome.
yeah, and Bad Batch you have 16 episodes, but if they're doing these movies, maybe we get to see stuff like the Inquisitors. Maybe we get to see kind of what's going on in this era that isn't involved in Bad Batch. Maybe we also get to see what goes on in the time between when Bad Batch ends and Rebels begins, because we obviously don't know how long Bad Batch is going to run. Hopefully, like a
Forever?
good amount of seasons.
Right.
It never ends.
Hopefully a really good amount of seasons, but like from Order 66 to Rebels, there's a 15-year time gap. So there's still plenty of area to explore. And we could also get into characters like Hondo or Cad Bane, or even like the Hutts and their like the Hutt cartel and all that different stuff that really
there's a lot that still hasn't been explored.
Yeah, because the Clone Wars really developed and introduced new characters and developed characters that we already knew but didn't really have this detail on. So to be able to explore them more in not even necessarily series, but these self-contained stories would be really interesting.
Definitely.
So I think that's our big Star Wars stuff. But before we go on to the next section, I just want to say happy Star Wars Day. Thank you for joining us for Star Wars Day, and have
May the 4th be with you.
Yes, may the 4th be with you, and have an awesome Revenge of the 5th tomorrow.
Yes.
Or the 6th, whatever you I think 6th sounds better, but I think most people do the 5th.
I think it's Revenge of the 5th, and then some people do Return of the 6th as like a tribute to the sequel trilogy.
Okay. All right. I could deal with that.
You don't need to tribute the sequel trilogy.
3 days. I will take 3 days of celebrating Star Wars. I don't care what it's supposed to celebrate.
Look,
but one of those days is the sequels. Maybe if it was Force Awakens, that's the only good one.
There's been great Star Wars. There's been really bad Star Wars. But I think we're on the path to getting a lot more good Star Wars than bad.
We've had a good track record since Rise. So
for sure.
So because we've had Clone Wars season 7, Mando, now this. So I think we're on the up. So
I'm really interested to see this like animated and live action shows going at the same time, because we haven't really had that.
Yeah,
because
before
Clone
Mando,
Wars
we had no live action ever for series. So
because Clone Wars was in the gap between episode 3 and episode 7, and then we only just got live action shows with Mando.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But that is our big Star Wars announcements for the day.
Yes.
On our next episode on Sunday, we will be breaking down the next episode of the Bad Batch and any news that hopefully comes out.
Yes, Sunday at 3:30 Pacific. So
which you can also watch that second episode with us on Thursday night at midnight.
There we go. So whenever we started this show, if you ever told me that we were actually going to somehow talk about Star Wars for an hour, there was going to be enough Star Wars news that I would have called you crazy. But here we are. This has never happened before. But I mean, we also had Bad Batch as well, so I think that definitely helped with that. But before we move on to Marvel, correct?
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely Marvel.
I do want to real quick once again plug the super chat feature. It really helps out the show, helps out the channel, and of course we're going to be reading chat throughout the show. But if you want to guarantee that your message will be read, or if you have an extra topic that you want us to talk about, definitely be sure to use that super chat feature. And I'm sure Caitlin has some creative other incentive as well.
Me reading it in Palpatine voice.
That's what I'm sticking with tonight. It is Star Wars Day.
So we're just going Palpatine voice. Okay, so if you want Richard to read a story, because I mean last week I think we had like a million different other things, but yeah, this week if you want Richard to read a news story in the Palpatine voice, definitely be sure to use that super chat feature. It really helps us out a ton. But we're moving on to Marvel now.
Yes,
oh yeah, we got a big Marvel dump.
Oh
stacked.
yeah.
We not only have new titles, we have new release dates, we have new footage. Marvel was like, "Oh, it's Star Wars Day tomorrow. I see you. Let me raise the bar."
I see your Star Wars Day and raise you a Marvel Day.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, I
not
mean,
not
to
even
be
raise you a
fair-
Marvel Day. I raise you a Marvel trailer. Beat me through it.
yeah. To
Right?
be fair, though, we didn't get as much as we thought on Star Wars Day, so maybe
True.
this was kind of
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And also, thinking about something funny, kind of as a tie-in between Star Wars and Marvel, I just realized that today is the 9th anniversary, release anniversary for the Avengers.
yeah.
And good for Marvel for releasing, at the time, the biggest movie ever on Star Wars Day. I mean, that took some huevos. Damn.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we are first going to talk about the Falcon and Winter Soldiers of Assembled episode. We're not going to harp on it too much because it's really a great episode, and we don't want to spoil too much of it. But you do really get to find out what the process of filming was, especially with COVID. You get to see really the director and the head writer break down kind of the motivations and the characters, and even a little bit of what it looks like Sam Wilson will be dealing with in Captain America 4, straight from the head writer of Falcon and Winter Soldier, which makes sense since he's writing Captain America 4.
Oh, yeah. And I gotta say, one of my quick favorite moments, just as a spoiler, because this was also on Instagram, Sebastian Stan jumping out of the plane with the behind the scenes and just face planting as he's screaming like Sean and Gus from Psych.
Yep. And the director going essentially, well,
that was badass.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I love just confused. What? Like so offended.
He looked as offended there as he did when his arm fell off in episode 4.
That's where they got the look. They're like, do that again.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Exactly.
They actually just digitally put the look on his face then and re-put it on for episode 4.
Yeah, but overall, a really great behind the scenes look at the show.
It's definitely worth checking out. Just like the WandaVision one was definitely worth checking out. I think it's super cool that we are getting these behind the scenes look and how to their looks and how they're doing the Marvel and Star Wars shows. I think and hope we're going to be seeing it with the movies.
Yeah, that was actually confirmed a few weeks back because I remember I wrote an article on it that they're doing it for Black Widow at least. So I would assume that they're doing it for the rest of the movies too.
I like to see them do it for older movies as well.
Yeah,
I agree. Actually, I would love to see an assembled on old MCU movies.
Yeah,
I would not be shocked if the Black Widow cast had to watch the Black Widow assembled episode because they don't remember all of the things that happened while they were filming.
Oh my god, because it was filmed 2 years ago now.
Right?
Oh man, but I mean, I will say that I definitely enjoyed the WandaVision episode more, but there was a lot more going on behind the scenes with that show. I mean, obviously there was the whole secrecy behind everything, and they had the whole weird sitcom stuff, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And the music segment was awesome. I loved that so much. So Falcon and Winter Soldier was a lot more of a traditional action.
It was more straightforward.
More straightforward Marvel project. Obviously, we got to see a lot of the stuff, with. We got to really see how they handled a lot of the racial issues in the show, and I think that was really cool to see because obviously that was a huge part of the show and it's very important to our world today. And I think it's really ironic because a lot of this stuff was filmed before COVID, before the events with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. So a lot of this stuff was already planned before all of this. So it's kind of ironic how it almost fit perfectly into this world that we live in today. It's honestly kind of weird, like how that turned out because they said it in the episode, like a lot of this they did before. So
part of it, sadly, is the issues that did come up in the last year are not new.
Well, yeah.
No, you're right. But I feel like they definitely became a lot more prominent, which is a good thing and a bad thing. They should have been prominent before, but at least people are talking about them now.
More of a global awareness.
Yes. So, and I think this show has really helped out with that. Maybe just a tiny bit, but I think a tiny bit is a good enough bit, to kind of, because I really haven't seen a lot of negative stuff with how they've handled this. So.
Yeah.
So I think they did a great job. I think the general reception is really well. I mean, obviously there's going to be horrible, awful, racist people who you're never going to please.
It's the world.
Yeah, that's the world we live in, unfortunately. But I really liked seeing, them talk about that kind of stuff and all the thought and care that went into to doing a lot of those scenes.
Yeah. And I will definitely say for the Falcon Winter Soldier assembled episode versus the WandaVision assembled episode, it feels like Falcon Winter Soldier was a little more affected by COVID because of all the travel.
Yeah, and then I think, too, WandaVision seemed like it was actually mostly filmed before COVID hit. I know they went to do reshoots, a little bit before the series started, but that wouldn't seem like it was mostly filmed. I mean, it makes sense because they had to do so much, visual effects work. Not that they didn't have to on Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
You
get to see a lot of that too.
The WandaVision one really kind of broke because it was different style sitcoms, and it really broke down sort of how they moved through the sitcoms, how they used like Twilight Zone stuff to play up that part of it. Whereas Falcon Winter Soldier, it was like more about, I think, the story versus the technical.
And they're two different shows, so it's really hard. It's really hard to compare the two. They really aren't comparable, But if there is a comparison to be made, the WandaVision episode I think was a little more fun, but there was a lot more there, So I think it's a little difficult to compare the two.
Well, and actually, speaking of WandaVision, it was confirmed by Kevin Feige himself. Doctor Strange was planned to appear in WandaVision.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
take that, Twitter.
Little bit, right? Like, really good call, Murphy's Multiverse. You were 100% right, and all the people that mocked you.
Yeah.
Well, we're just not going to say.
People come at Charles all the time. Like, if anybody has seen, he's one of the best insiders of the business. If you have seen his Twitter page, at least half of it is just people coming at him for the most random stuff.
Yeah.
100%. But he was like spot on with this one. And what's interesting about it is the commercials were actually tied to Doctor Strange. The commercials were meant to be messages from Doctor Strange trying to get through to Wanda.
Right.
That puts an entirely different spin on them to me, because I think the way that we have all read them is they are like sort of visual, like personified trauma.
Flashbacks to her past.
Yeah. So their original intention really changes that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I prefer the Doctor Strange message, but honestly, I think the trauma... But I think the trauma works for the series as it is.
I think, whenever the finale, and I don't think you were on the show at the time, but whenever the finale aired and Doctor Strange wasn't in it, I was kind of glad, because it's just like, where the hell do they put him? In the finale that we got. But now hearing what they were actually doing with it, I think that would have actually really worked well. I still don't think Doctor Strange should have went in there and saved the day.
Sure, right.
Because that would have completely ruined the whole
Wanda's arc.
It would have ruined Wanda's entire arc. But having the commercials be like him trying to send messages to her, I think that would have been a really cool side plot. He shouldn't have been the one to save the day. It's WandaVision, not Doctor Strange vision. But I think that's a really cool concept that I wish that we could have seen. I am kind of glad that Doctor Strange didn't come in and save the day at the end, though. It's kind of like, you kind of...
Feige even said that a big part of the reason that they changed that plan is they wanted it to be Wanda's story. I think they could still potentially pull that in. Well, not even that. I think they could potentially bring it up in the movie.
Yeah. That would be cool. It's funny, actually, I was just thinking that they could still have that be in the movie, that Doctor Strange was doing the commercial thing for her. And I mean, it would have been super cool in the show. I don't mind that he wasn't in it, but it just gets me that much more excited for Doctor Strange too. I mean, that's going to be a crazy movie.
Yeah. Yes. Donnie Pearson is in the chat. He joins me for the joins me in the chat for the Super Retro Sentai wrap up all the time. He's a loyal viewer.
He's on the watch alongs too.
Yeah, there we go. He is a loyal
this morning.
Illuminerdi watcher. Thank you, Donnie, for supporting the channel. He says, hello, Bryce, Caitlin, Richard, and all. Happy Star Wars Day. Happy May the 4th. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. He says he loved the debut episode of the Bad Batch. And we all agree with you, Donnie. It was awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And thank you for joining us this morning on the watch along, and we hope to see you again on Thursday.
For sure.
Richard, you've got a little bit of information about filming getting started on the new Netflix show.
Yeah. Oh, it was going to be a Netflix show.
Or not, sorry. I'm so sorry. Disney Plus show. I don't even know why that came out of my mouth.
I think at this point, we're just so used to that it was probably going to potentially be a Netflix show that's just what we're stuck on. But this is one of the shows I'm most excited about is Moon Knight. It's officially started filming in Budapest. I can't remember what the official name of the museum that they were filming at was called, but it's like one of the Budapest National Museums that they were filming mythology, potentially some magic stuff. I mean,
we have a hero or anti-hero with dissociative identity disorder.
Right?
That's crazy.
Our first leading Jewish character in the MCU too. That makes me so happy. But I mean, this show is going to be awesome. This is very high up on my most anticipated Disney Plus list.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to be excited about anything Marvel. So, I mean,
yeah,
I'm definitely excited for Moon Knight as well. He's kind of like Deadpool meets Batman in a way.
Yeah, a little bit. I think less snarky.
Yeah,
very much less snarky.
So that's definitely a really interesting dynamic I'm really looking forward to. I've said this a million times on the show. I'm not really familiar with the books, but the concept of the character really intrigues me. So I'm really looking forward to see him in the MCU, especially played by Oscar Isaac. That's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Also, he's, I was going to say, the former Marine and CIA operative who, like, essentially makes a deal with the Egyptian, like, moon god.
Oh, yeah.
To, like, save his
life. Who's actually Mephisto.
Please don't. And then becomes Moon Knight. So it's like Richard said, we're for sure going to get action. We're going to get some craziness with dissociative identity because he's going to have multiple, like, not just identities, but I guess personalities that he sets up, including a millionaire and a taxi cab driver. Yeah. We're going to have action. We're going to get magic. We're going to get crazy.
Yes. And also, quick sidebar on the Deadpool front. It's not on our rundown, but just real quick, that whole Hugh Jackman with the police officer in New York, bribing him, Ryan Reynolds bribing him to get Hugh Jackman into Deadpool 3. That would be so amazing if that actually happened. I really hope it does.
The Nura, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, I'm so sorry, Ravindra said that they liked the Bad Batch premiere, but the Kane and Caleb retcon was confusing.
It wasn't a retcon, was it?
No, it wasn't. This is actually canon from Rebels. In Rebels, Kanan took the name Kanan Jarrus after Order 66 to hide from the Empire. This is the actual origin of what happened to him during Order 66. His master was killed by the clones and told him to run so he could get away. I think the only retcon aspect you could consider is that the Bad Batch was there, because I don't think that has ever been a part of the story. But I thought it worked really well. Mm-hmm. I could see why it might be confusing because, like you said, Bryce, unless you remembered his name was Caleb, you were what?
It's definitely a little confusing.
So for that part of it, I can see is confusing. But no, if you have any questions about that scene, we are happy to go into it. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but that was definitely a scene that I really enjoyed.
For sure.
And we were also huge fans of the Bad Batch and are excited to see more of it. But I think that is our big Moon Knight news. I mean, just the fact that it's filming is exciting. We're always excited about more Marvel shows getting started because it means that they are coming down the pipeline.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, they did have a comic of Kanan's origins years ago. But this was, I think, a chance for people who hadn't read the comics to really see it. I have not read the comics, so if it was super different, then that would be, I could see why it would be confusing for that reason. But I think that the actual story of it.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem with the comics and the books, is that the comics and the books don't necessarily always interact with the TV shows all that well, because a lot of the times the TV shows want to go off and do their own separate thing in the movies, and I think they should be allowed to, because Star Wars is a movie/TV franchise first. And so I feel like if there's something that's going to be more canon, it's got to be the shows, it's got to be the movies. So that's the problem with the comic books, is that you're going to see something in the comic books that they never thought they were going to explore in the shows and the movies, and then they actually do, and it sort of retcons something that you saw in the book. So yeah. I mean, that's kind of my problem with all that. I can understand it if you read something different in the comics.
If the comic
I haven't read it.
If the comic was very different, then I completely understand your confusion. I think the heart of it was the same. Yeah. The core idea of it.
For sure.
But we are going to be moving on from Moon Knight. Bryce is really excited about some Spider-Man stuff that happened earlier today.
I'm excited about something Spider-Man? That's new. Okay.
I know.
Honestly, I think all of us are excited about Spider-Man coming up.
So, well, game over, guys. Andrew Garfield's not in the movie. Shucks.
Otherwise known as pulling a Tom Holland.
More like a Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah. Fair point.
Or
Tatiana
Tom
Maslany.
Ellis.
Or Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Or Paul Rudd. Right?
It's kind of the Marvel go-to.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything.
We've seen this a million times over. Tatiana Maslany. I'm not She-Hulk. Turns out she is. Tom Ellis. I'm not in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Well, there he is. So people in the comic book movie industry do this all the time. He was directly asked if he's in Spider-Man in an interview, and what did we expect him to? Did we expect him to say yes? I mean,
seriously.
To be fair, Doc Ock did.
He did a whole freaking Deadline interview about it.
Sure. Yeah.
To be fair, it has happened.
Recently,
right.
I wrote about that a few weeks ago.
I guess you have a point there, but so yeah, he denies the fact that he's in Spider-Man, but kind of he is straight up asked, are you in Spider-Man? Yes or no? And he refuses to give a yes or no. He goes, well, he gives an answer I would give. If I'm in a project that I'm not allowed to talk about. It's he was asked specifically, are you in Spider-Man? Yes or no? He's like, well, I never got the call. I never got a call. So if I were in it, but then here's my logic, because technically, if I'm Andrew Garfield and I say that, and I'm not lying, because I could have got a text, I could have got an email, my agents could have gotten a call.
He got a text. They were like, yo, Garfield, you want to be in Spider-Man?
They could have showed up at his house. But and all jokes aside, this is something that I would do. If I were in his shoes, I would totally do this. If they didn't actually call me, this would be the answer I'd give them. Well, they didn't call me, so I'm not in it.
And this is a completely expected answer.
And he keeps dodging it. He said he was asked yes or no, and he would not say yes or no.
And legally, I'm sure he can't.
Yes. And the fact that it kind of the interviewer kind of gets ready to move on, but then Andrew Garfield still feels the need to try to convince people that he's not in it, because
if you have to go that hard to convince people you're not in it, there's a good chance you're in it.
Right. Because the interviewer was kind of giving up, okay, so he said no, of course he did. But then Andrew Garfield keeps interjecting and keeps going on about how he's not in Spider-Man. And so it's just he's going really overboard to really try and convince people that he's not in it.
And I'll say this, of him and Tobey Maguire, he seems like the one that you wouldn't have to convince to be in the movie. He seems like he would be the one that'd be easier to get in Spider-Man No Way Home than Tobey Maguire. I mean, I'm sure they talked to Tobey Maguire, and if he's in it, he's going to be in it, and he's going to be excited. But Andrew Garfield loved playing Spider-Man. I mean, he had such a good time with that role. I can't see why he wouldn't want to be super enthusiastic about doing it again.
Right.
Yeah. And I know we were giving the actors a hard time a little bit about their denials. We're also very, very sure that their contracts and their DNRs, or not DNRs, I'm sorry, NDAs, make it where they can't answer. It's not something where you can say, I cannot confirm or deny, because in today's world, that's confirming it. You're not going to say, I can't confirm that, and have people go, well, clearly it's not true. So
for sure.
The fact that they say no is not in any way us going, they're liars, they're terrible. It's okay, that's fine.
Yeah, in the event that Andrew Garfield is in the movie, and of course he's on NDA and can't say yes or no, this is exactly what I would expect his answer to be.
Yeah.
You know, and just the sheer evidence of them being in the movie is overwhelming to the point where it's just like, at this point, they have to be.
It would be more shocking if they're not in the movie now than if they actually are. And I mean, if they are, it's going to be amazing. Like, people cannot wait to see this. But it would be more shocking if they're not in it than if they're in it.
Very true. So I think that is our big bit of Spider-Man news there. I'm not going to be surprised if we have some more in the weeks to come.
Yeah.
But speaking of projects that people are excited to see, Richard, there was a big Loki trailer that I know you are excited to talk about.
I am legit totally excited for this. Yeah, so this premiered last night during the Warriors-Pelicans NBA game where they were doing this whole Marvel Night of Heroes thing. I mean, super weird, super fun. I loved every segment. You had Iron Man sitting on the shot clock, which was hilarious. But regardless, we got a new Loki trailer. It's about 45 seconds or so. This one actually has mostly new footage that we haven't seen before in either of the original trailers. We got Gugu Mbatha Raw's Judge Renslayer in there. Owen Wilson's Mobius M. Mobius. We got Loki's I'm burdened with glorious purpose line, which is amazing. And I think, I don't know about you guys, I just cannot wait for Owen Wilson in this series. I think he is going to kill it.
Yes, he will. He's going to be awesome.
I was definitely a fan of in the trailer when he kind of, it seemed, got, I'm assuming, kind of frustrated with Loki and said, like, death and destruction follows you everywhere. Loki just goes, yeah.
I loved in the second one where he goes, you've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times.
Yep.
But I promise not to do it again.
Because that's believable. Right?
This show is going to be something special.
Loki has been a fan favorite for literally a decade, and him getting his own show is going to be perfect.
And having it be the Loki from Avengers is going to be really interesting because we've all seen this character development happen since the second movie, and all that is just gone.
That's the only thing I'm actually a little nervous about, is because obviously I think the three of us could agree that we love the character development he's been on with all those movies. I mean, that's what, 3 or 4 movies worth of character development that you're just cutting out with him being taken right out of Avengers. But
I think it works.
I'm sure they're going to find a way to make it work.
I think
it's Tom Hiddleston. He's perfect in every way. So they'll find a way to make it work.
What I really liked about Ragnarok is we got back to Loki being like more god of mischief than like full-on villain. So I think we're going to really kind of see that evolve in this show. I think it's going to have this villainous like feeling to him at first, and then when he kind of can't necessarily do that around the time variance, or the variance authority, he's going to be kind of like, all right, cool, I'm going to screw with them to get what I want. So that is, like, I think a really cool way to do it, and I think it'll be interesting, because it is us seeing this development with Loki without Thor.
For sure. Yeah, this is the first time we've seen him without Thor.
Yeah, so I think it should be very cool, very exciting. And the trailer, like you said, it was 45 seconds, but it was a really, really good 45 seconds.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, we're only just a little over a month away from this show. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, we're definitely excited. And then we had some costume reveals come up. I think we're going to talk about one with one of the shows coming out that Bryce has some opinions on.
Yeah, Hawkeye. So they revealed the costume. Well, they didn't reveal it. The costume for Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye leaked out. And it kind of sucks. It's not good. It's
Tell us how you really feel, Bryce.
I disagree, but continue.
It just doesn't feel like Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye to me. It not. I mean, if maybe Clint Barton in the comics, but it doesn't feel like the MCU version of Hawkeye to me. It's way too bright. And Hawkeye is not this version of Hawkeye. Kate Bishop might be different, but Clint Barton's Hawkeye is not a bright, happy character. He's a character that is a lot darker, has a lot darker tone, and thus his costumes so far have been fairly dark. And now we come into the series and it's super bright, popping out of the screen, vibrant purple. And
that's an assumption. That's an assumption you're making, that we're coming into the series with it. I think, like we've seen in Falcon and WandaVision, this is a endgame costume. This is a costume that he earns by the end of it, because I think it's going to be going from this guy who's just heartbroken and guilty and devastated from his best friend sacrificing herself from everything he did, the Ronin and all of that. And I think
everything in Endgame.
Yeah, so I think him mentoring Kate and learning from Kate as well is going to be the build to the costume.
But
and
why?
I wouldn't be shocked if this is maybe a version of the costume that he had, because we don't necessarily know that he was not doing the Hawkeye thing himself before S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, this could be something where we find out this is one of Vigilante early
costume. If it's a prequel costume, then fine. Like, that, I'll be okay with that. But if this is an endgame costume, no way. Because it's like, sure, he can have all this development, and he's like, yay, I'm happy again. But it's just like, why introduce Kate Bishop? Why bring her in as the new Hawkeye? Why have her bring the young, bright Hawkeye? Give her the bright purple costume, and then also give it to Clint. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I think if it's something that is connected to his past, it could be cool. I think if it's something that he had a costume like this, or kind of a homemade version of this back in the early days of him being Hawkeye, then the sentimental value of it would be really interesting. I also think having the evolution from someone that just feels unworthy at this point to someone that feels worthy is going to be really important, especially with what happens with his family. We don't know what happens. Maybe there's a lot of options, many of which are sad. So I think I do think the costume is going to be an important part of that.
Another thing in defense of the costume, my one defense, besides it being maybe a prequel costume, which they would probably want to de-age Renner a little bit, and I didn't really see anything on his face. So I don't know if they're doing that. But another thing is that obviously it might not be finished. They might be doing some other touch-ups to it as well.
Oh yeah.
Because we've seen this a million times over. I.e. the Shazam costume. That thing looked rough in the behind-the-scenes photos, but it looks great in the movie. So
yeah.
So I think that's another thing.
And plus, this one is at least 6 months from coming out. This is. I think it's supposed to be the last Disney Plus show of 2021. So there's a lot of work to do on it. So I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I think we're still going to be okay when it comes out. That's all I was going to say.
But then I guess to go off against that again, the other costume that was revealed looked kick-ass at the set with the set photos.
I will say though, I tend to give Marvel the benefit of the doubt on this, because with just the Disney Plus shows alone, they've proved their costume game is strong. Like, they are not messing around. This is not something where we're going. They don't have a great track record. So I understand your hesitance. I
like
think
Kate Bishop's costume.
Kate Bishop's costume is great. I think that Jeremy Renner's costume is going to be important plot-wise. I don't think it's going to be something that just, like, all of a sudden he's wearing purple and you're going,
I sure hope not.
What?
Right.
Because if it's literally only meant to be an Easter egg for the comics,
the original comic look,
that doesn't track for me. Marvel doesn't do that as much. They tend to really get into the reasons for all of this stuff.
For sure. But like you said, Caitlin, especially in Phase 4, Marvel is killing it on the costume front. Wanda's last one in the last scene of WandaVision was incredible. Sam's Falcon Captain America suit is that's one of my favorite new MCU costumes, easily.
Even the Agent suit is sharp.
It's pretty solid. The whole turning it black thing was a whole other rabbit hole.
That's from the comics.
Well, yeah. I totally get that from the comics.
The thing is that the only difference is that it's black instead of blue.
Right.
So
right. But
I don't know. It's kind of like
Marvel's killing it in the costume department.
Yeah, and there was another costume reveal, which Bryce mentioned, but I think Richard is going to talk a little bit more about, because it's not only a costume reveal, it actually ties into one of the title reveals.
Oh, yeah. So one of the title reveals that we got during this 3-minute video that Marvel put out yesterday was the Captain Marvel 2 title, which is officially going to be called The Marvels. And quick side note before I get into that makes the mutants that much more plausible, like our exclusive from a couple months ago, which I thought was super cool. But regardless, so Captain Marvel 2 is called The Marvels. And with that, we got to look at Kamala Khan's first full-blown Miss Marvel costume. And I don't know about you guys, I loved it. I mean, it's nearly comic book accurate. There's a couple slight changes here and there, but nothing too major. The mask looks cool. The lightning bolt on her chest looks awesome. I can't wait to see it in action.
Yeah, and I would like to be clear that this was not a release by Marvel. This was similar to the Jeremy Renner. Yeah. It was a leak. But, and even with like the resolution of the camera not great and it being dark out, it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Sure. It's
a solid costume. Yeah. That is probably the costume I'm most curious about because, like I said earlier, we saw Sam's Captain America costume at the end. We saw Wanda's costume at the end. I'm assuming seeing Hawkeye's costume at the end. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw maybe Kate Bishop's earlier. I would not be shocked if we see Miss Marvel costume like fairly early on.
Yeah, I mean, we know she's going to go through a couple costumes leaks, so she had that kind of makeshift Captain Marvel one at first because she's a diehard Captain Marvel fan. But yeah, exactly. That is straight from the comics. But I kind of agree with you. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe we get it in like episode 3 or 4 or something, and that's just a wild guess.
Yeah, or even if, like 4 or 5 would kind of make sense to me. Maybe not waiting until the big finale, because like you said, we know that they're going to go through kind of the early stages of her making it herself, which I think is important, especially since she is a kid and she's not going to have access to like
Wakanda tech.
Right? She just like appears and you're like, how did you get that? You're like 12.
This ain't going to be a Wakanda suit.
But no, I think it looks just fantastic. And I think the fact that the Captain Marvel 2 is called Marvels is really exciting because we not only know
That's cool.
Me neither. We not only know Captain Marvel obviously is in it, and that from the Disney Investor Day we know Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel are in it. There was a casting breakdown that was reported a while ago about Blue Marvel maybe showing up.
That very much teased Blue Marvel. And then also one quick thing about the logo for the movie. I love the fact that they tied in both Miss Marvel's logo and the Spectrum logo into it, like basically confirming once again that they're going to be in the movie. And the Blue Marvel thing would be awesome. I think I'm way more excited for this one than I was for the original, honestly.
Yeah, and to clarify for all those MCU fans that don't know the comics super well, Spectrum is Monica Rambeau's
right. Either Spectrum or Photon. Correct.
So yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm really excited for Captain Marvel 2. I know there's like people who didn't like the first one. I really, really liked the first one. So I've always been excited about this, but I think that it really feels like in Phase 4, a lot of the movies are just kind of leaning fully into them being team up movies. Mm-hmm. And I like that this one, the team up, like even Doctor Strange too, the team ups feel like they make sense. It's not just throwing a bunch of random characters together. It's,
for sure.
Oh, these characters totally make sense having a story together. So I'm excited about that for this one especially, but just the other team up movies that we have coming up as well. Right. And we also have another movie that had the title revealed, another sequel. Black Panther 2 is officially going to be Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So it really feels like kind of a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, which is great. I think I would not be shocked if it kind of tied into conflict that's going on in Wakanda, be it internal or external.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about this one. I'm not worried, but sad.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be good. It's just gonna be, bittersweet.
It's gonna be really emotional. Like, because I mean, people loved Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther, as T'Challa.
He's amazing.
He did a great job.
It's one of the best MCU movies, period.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really appropriate title, especially because they've said that they're going to be like diving into the whole world of Wakanda, as the main plot of the story. We don't know any more details than that, but
no, there's been rumors about Doctor Doom. There's been rumors about Namor and Atlantis. which both of those I think would make sense to have Wakanda Forever be the title if it's going to have some sort of conflict with Atlantis that's caused by Doctor Doom.
For
so
sure.
I think the title's really strong emotionally, and I'm sure it'll tie. Like, it's Marvel, it's going to tie in story wise too.
Well, yeah, they always do.
Yeah. They're no slouches on costumes, titles, or really any of this. They're pretty much
interconnectivity. I mean,
sorry.
Yeah, no, like literally, I was saying this to my wife earlier in the day. We were watching some Marvel stuff. At this point, Marvel can literally do whatever they want. Like it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Star Wars is kind of following in those footsteps too.
They can literally introduce Kevin Feige into the MCU, and he's not a superhero. He's just Kevin Feige. I mean, and give him his own movie, and it'll make $1 billion.
He has to make a cameo at some point. Like, that's a given. That has to happen.
At least it's like last one, I think.
Right? Yeah. Well, God, when's that going to be? Is he going to be alive for that when it ends? And I'm not saying that because Kevin Feige's older, he's going to die anytime soon.
Yeah.
The MCU could go on for a really long time.
It's true.
Richard is hoping the MCU outlives him.
I would not be mad at that.
So we talked about a little bit of the stuff from the celebrating the movies trailer yesterday, but we not only got the title reveals, we also got some release date reveals for the third movie in two pretty fan favorite trilogies. Bryce, did you want to kind of let everyone know what those are?
Yeah. So for people who don't know, I believe we already had these two, but Black Panther and the Marvels, that is July 8th, 2022, and November 11th, 2022, respectively. Mm-hmm. But we also got some new release dates yesterday. One of them was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which will be releasing February 17th, 2023, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, we finally have a release date for this movie. Which will be May 5th, Revenge of the 5th, 2023.
Oh, man.
So that's awesome. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm surprised we're getting that before Guardians. But because Guardians, we've been talking about Guardians 3 for forever.
But Ant-Man has been filming for a while, so that's not surprising.
So
I think it started filming maybe a few weeks ago. But also there was all that controversy with Guardians 3 also with the whole James Gunn thing. So they had to kind of work that out. I don't know that,
and then I come to find out that we talked about it on the show, and I just completely forgot, probably. But
hey, episodes like this we talk about a lot.
Yeah. But no, of course I'm excited. I mean, of course they're just dates, but it's still really cool to see nonetheless. We have a sort of window to look forward to. Nothing for Fantastic Four. They showed them at the end of the trailer, their logo. So we know it's going to be like a Phase 4 project. But no release date as of right now, for Fantastic Four. So
no, I think it was more just further confirmation that it's happening.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that's 2024 and Spider-Man 4 maybe takes a spot in 2023 because they usually do those about every 2 years. This is assuming that they do a Spider-Man 4, but with the Disney Plus deal, I'd be shocked if there's no Spider-Man 4.
Actually, I was just thinking about that. I've heard rumors, nothing official at all, just thoughts on it, that Fantastic Four could be the last movie of Phase 4. What if it was? Because I think if it released the next year, they could literally release Fantastic Four on May 4th of 2024 to end Phase 4.
Do you mean April?
No, May. May, I think it would probably be.
April is the 4th month, though.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Yeah.
Well, no, I can't. I'm not going to look on the calendar. That's going to take forever.
No, but
I think you check that I got the month right. Are you serious?
No, not the month.
February, March.
But it's got to fall on a Friday, right?
Well, yeah, no, because I think May 4th would fall on a Friday because May 5th would be the Friday of the year before that.
I know you get the month right.
Wait, no, never mind. It's a leap year. I'm wrong anyway. It's May 3rd. God damn it. Well, there goes my theory. But even just the fact that Fantastic Four could end Phase 4 in 2024, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
that'd
definitely,
be awesome.
definitely. And I mean, we're excited for Ant-Man 3. It's gonna be crazy, and like we've talked about a few times on here and the watch along, it feels like that's gonna be kind of a penultimate moment for Young Avengers, which are clearly have plans for.
Really?
And then Guardians 3, it looks like it's gonna be kind of James Gunn's last Guardians movie, so that
Probably,
should
yeah.
be
That's most likely, yeah.
so that'd be interesting. I'm curious about what that means for Gamora, since she just kind of like
Yeah.
dipped in
I'm
all of her
curious on what that means for
development is done.
all of the characters, because
Well,
they've
also
got to
from-
do something with them after
Yeah.
Guardians. So
Also from James Gunn, we have the holiday special, which is coming at the end of 2022, the Guardians of the Galaxy
Right.
holiday special, which
Yeah.
is it's going to be super weird.
that's gonna
but,
be so much fun.
Yeah, that should be pretty fun.
I am fingers crossed that we get some sort of reference to Star Wars in that.
That would be great.
I mean, it's obvious. I mean, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday I mean,
Right.
it's clearly a spoof on
The Star
the
Wars
Star
one.
Wars holiday I mean, they have to. They have to.
Like,
Right.
we just need Mark Hamill to show up and we're good.
Oh, yo, oh my gosh.
He just,
Who
like,
should he
walks
play?
Amazing.
He just
Who
like
should-
walks. No, he didn't play anyone. He just walks
No.
across the screen in like his full
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker
Oh my
garb,
gosh,
looks
yeah.
at them and goes,
I've
Oh
already
my
decided that he's in
God.
it. I've already decided that he's in it. He's in it. Like
Right? That would be amazing.
no, and he's in the weird makeup. Like he's got way too much makeup on. Like just like the holiday special.
Oh, Lord.
Oh man, but yeah, we are excited for Ant-Man 3 and Guardians 3. Because yeah, it looks like Guardians 3 is really gonna wrap up that story. Do you guys think Ant-Man 3 is gonna wrap up that one?
I don't know. I mean, they're clearly going to set up something for the Young Avengers in it, but
It's
I
just,
don't want Paul Rudd to be done.
Me neither.
Ant-Man doesn't feel like it's leading up to a point. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't.
Like an ending point.
Yeah.
I think it'll depend on what they do with the quantum realm, because I think they can bring the quantum realm into a lot of stuff.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I know in the comics it's the negative zone, I think.
Pretty sure
but
you're right, yeah.
I would not be shocked if the MCU kind of just combined the two and maybe had it where the Fantastic Four called it the negative zone, because the Infinity Stones in the comics, like, those were not the exact things from the movies. They kind of combined elements.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
that would be a very cool way to bring that in, and that would be something that would make sense. So if they're going to play with the quantum zone, I see it having a point, but otherwise, you're right, Bryce. It doesn't feel like they're going anywhere other than this is really fun.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, this is going to be easily the craziest Ant-Man movie.
Oh, well, they always do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like they've got to get crazier and crazier as they go. But I could see Ant-Man doing a fourth. What if Ant-Man becomes the series that has the most? Because I mean, Ant-Man doesn't really. I don't know. It just like the other trilogies. Like it's just like they felt like they were leading up to a point. But Ant-Man, it's just like I don't see this being an ending. You know.
Yeah.
Well, also as long as Paul Rudd never ages like he has for the last 30 years, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, it definitely felt like, for the most part, the trilogies were leading to Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
And then you have Thor, who's like, I'm Thor, I'm going to do whatever.
I guess I'll keep going, whatever.
Right?
So, no, I'm hoping that we get more Ant-Man.
I'd love it.
Yeah. I'm a little sad we're going to be saying goodbye to the Guardians. I'm hoping the characters maybe disperse and do some other stuff.
They have to.
Yeah, I really hope they stick around somehow, even if it's not in like a Guardians franchise.
Yeah. So that is our big stuff. That is just the announcement segment of the trailer. We are still talking about that trailer.
That trailer was great for being 3 minutes long.
Yeah. We got our first look at Eternals. And I know Richard has been talking about that like in our planning sessions for like over a week now. So
because like I heard rumors from guys at the other side of Reddit at the direct that we were getting some kind of look at the Eternals yesterday. We didn't get a full on look, but we did get our very first footage from the movie. It was only, what would you guys say, like 5 seconds or so in total in the trailer.
Probably a little
with a cameo appearance from the blue jeans guy from The Mandalorian.
Jeans guy. I forgot about him.
I wrote an article about that.
Me too. I did too. But anyways, so first look at the Eternals. I mean, this movie, just from the few seconds we've seen, looks like it's going to be something really, really good. We saw Angelina Jolie with that glowing sword. We saw Richard Madden. We saw Lauren Ridloff as Makari doing the speedy thing. Gemma Chan's coming back, obviously, in a new role from Captain Marvel. This movie's going to be something really, really good.
Kevin Feige, I think, literally came out and said that he's thinking this is a Best Picture contender.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, the director just won an Academy Award, right?
Yeah,
for best director, exactly.
So
yeah.
That gets me excited.
Yeah, and the fact that they shot on real locations, like that beach scene that we saw, that was real. I mean, that's going to be some incredible shooting work in that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's going to be interesting is how because it's a lot of characters. So I'm interested to see kind of how they play with that, if we're going to see all of them in the future or not. But what I think I'm most interested about in the movie, and it might be clear from what I've talked about with Star Wars, I love the mythology of everything. So this really feels like a mythology builder of the MCU. So that is what I'm really looking forward to. And that's what I'm hoping to see more of. And it has that gravitas feel to it that I think we could definitely be seeing that in the movie.
Yeah, and like real quick before you go, Bryce, this has one of the biggest ensemble casts, especially for like a first movie in the MCU that we have ever seen. I mean, this thing has Richard Madden, Angelina Jolie, Kumail Nanjiani, Gemma Chan, and that's not even half of it.
The Game of Thrones guy, Kit Harington?
Yeah, Kit Harington. I can't wait to see him. One of my favorite things with him was Eret from the How to Train Your Dragon series, and I can't wait to see potentially more of that.
It's got Josh Brolin. Just wait. Mark my words.
Well, we have heard rumors of
rumors
of maybe a young Thanos tease in it, which would be pretty cool.
Yes.
But yeah, because he's very tied into that in the comics.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
If young Thanos is in it, like, this is my most anticipated film coming.
Isn't Thanos technically an Eternal in the comics? Or like some kind of off
I don't remember if he's an Eternal or a Deviant or something like that, but he's connected in some way to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that would be awesome. Like,
we're also getting, I think if I remember correctly, a deaf superhero in it.
Yeah, Lauren Ridloff Makari.
And gay superhero.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, wow, can't wait for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's got a lot coming. There's a lot there. So I mean, I feel like this movie, there's gonna be something for like almost everyone. So I think that's cool.
You know what the crazy thing about like all 4 movies coming out this year? You could literally have any of them as your number one most anticipated project for the year for any reason you want, and there's not really much you could say to argue it.
If young Thanos is in this, which I doubt we'll know until the movie actually comes out.
Yeah.
This overtakes Spider-Man. Like,
wow.
Like with what Kevin Feige has been saying, what the very little we've seen, because I mean, Best Picture, like, that is a big deal. And Marvel seems really pleased with this movie, but if they add in young Thanos to this is it. Like, this is my most anticipated Marvel movie.
It'd be a good way to bring it back in too, because I understand, like in the Infinity Saga arc and even in the Infinity arc in the comics, it makes sense for that to be an end for Thanos. Mm-hmm. But Thanos is a character that definitely had more room to breathe, he should have. But now we're going to talk about some more new footage that we saw for, I think, maybe my most anticipated, Black Widow. Nothing huge, but we did see a little bit more of the camaraderie between kind of this like family dynamic that we're going to see, especially between Yelena Belova and Natasha Romanoff. So that was very cool. It looked like they may have been outside of a prison with the father figure.
Red Guardian.
100%. Thank you. And so, like, we saw more of that stuff, and it even looked like Red Guardian was getting ready to fight Taskmaster, which that could be an interesting pair up.
Taskmaster is gonna kill it in this movie. That's like one of my most anticipated villains for sure.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for Black Widow, and like I said, it wasn't anything like insane that we got, but I'm just really excited to see this dynamic because, like we said from like one of the earlier trailers, it looks like this is a family that was kind of created specifically by the Russian government. So to see how that has kind of really truly become a family over time, and it's not just this fake thing that they had to pretend to be, is something I'm really excited about. And I just really want to get more Black Widow and see the history of Black Widow. So the fact that we're going to get that and Taskmaster,
for sure.
It's about damn time. Yeah.
Right. It's about time for this movie for sure.
Yeah. And then we got a little bit more new footage from Shang-Chi, which is very cool. And I think
that's always a good. That's another one. That's another big one for. I mean, the martial arts alone in that movie is going to be so freaking awesome.
Definitely. And the new footage that was really stand out in this was Awkwafina's character, Katie.
Oh my god!
Driving a car and just totally it seemed like spins it out. So I'm so excited to see. I love Awkwafina. She's hilarious.
She's great, yeah.
I haven't seen her in a lot, but I saw her in the new Jumanji movie, and she was hilarious in that as well. So
I still have to check that one out. I love the 2017 Jumanji. I got to check out the new one.
Oddly enough, I haven't seen. I watched the first one. I watched the space one, Zathura, and I watched the new one, the one that just came out. Not that long ago.
Both of the new ones are really worth checking out. I think I saw the first new one in theaters like 2 or 3 times because it was just so funny.
Yeah,
I loved the first new one.
It's amazing. And she also voiced Sisu the dragon in the
Raya.
Yes.
Yeah, Raya.
I still haven't seen that one yet. I'm waiting for it to not be $30. So
stupid premiere access.
You could see it in theaters if your theaters are open near you and you got your COVID vaccinations.
The only problem is that at least as of right now I don't have time, and I am vaccinated. And I don't know what the status of my local theaters are actually, because I don't have one in my direct town. I have to go out of town like 45 minutes
for sure
to go see it. So but yeah, I am vaccinated, but I also, like, I'm still in college, so it's the end of the semester.
You gotta find the time.
So yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, yes. So once it's free on Disney Plus, I will check it out as soon as I can.
But yeah, so that little bit of new footage for Black Widow and Shang-Chi were both just another level of getting excited. And that's not, like, these are all projects we knew about, which is insane because Charles Murphy, who we mentioned before over at Murphy's Multiverse, got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier showrunner to kind of tease that there's a lot of unannounced MCU projects. And I mean, we always knew that, but the fact that you had, like, kind of the thing that really made me excited about that is the day Falcon and Winter Soldier ended, Captain America 4 was announced. How many of those do we have where the second, like, a new movie comes out or a series ends, we're going to have another announcement?
Loki the movie. No.
Right?
They're not going to do it because they have Loki season 2, so it's clear that one's sticking around.
No, but it could be tied to
Owen Wilson the movie. Oh
yeah, like there's definitely going to be avenues that they could have, like, spin-off shows or movies.
Oh, there's plenty. Yeah,
I'm like, MCU, man. They know what they're doing.
The Jimmy Woo show. They better make one.
Agents of Atlas.
Agents of Atlas.
This isn't a bit.
Solid.
This isn't a joke. I want a Jimmy Woo show.
I want a Jimmy Woo Darcy show.
Yeah. Yes.
That would be great.
Yes, I want.
Throw Louise in there for all I care.
Yeah. Just every comedic relief character thrown in all to one show.
What we really need is the Louise cut of the Infinity Saga. That has been teased for like 3 years, and it needs to release.
I wouldn't be shocked to see that as part of the Ant-Man 3 press stuff, like when they're
that would be good.
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah.
But that is our big monster Marvel block this week, because, like I said, that trailer, as Donnie Pearson so aptly said, was a butt kicker in a good way.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's all the Marvel stuff for today. Gee.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
We didn't even have a Marvel episode to cover, and that took like a whole hour as well. So
right.
So hopefully DC doesn't take an hour, or else we'll be having a 3-hour show.
I don't think it will, because DC is mostly casting news.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I do. So we've got casting for DC TV. We've got casting for DC movies. We've got a little bit of set photo stuff for Flash, which I know Bryce is crazy excited about because he even said on the show he was not going to believe they were in production until there were set photos.
And it happened.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I do just need to say Legends of Tomorrow premiere was epic.
Before you get into that, there's a super chat feature on the channel. And I need to play the DC. So while that's playing, we do have a super chat feature here on the channel. So if that's something you want to do, it really helps out the channel, helps out the show a ton. Richard is going to read it in an Emperor Palpatine voice. Definitely check that out if that's something. I guess I'm playing our normal intro again too. I didn't mean to do that. Go ahead to Legends tomorrow.
You're doing great at that, buddy.
Yeah.
We will have a show where we have all the intros played correctly. It will happen one day.
Right, it'll happen.
Oh man.
But like I said, before we get into the casting news, I just have to say the Legends of Tomorrow premiere was epic. I don't want to spoil it too much, but we got David Bowie. We got Spartacus. We got the reveal that one of the characters that we've known since season, I think 3, is actually an alien, and we have aliens dropped into the time stream. And a new legend. This show is crazy, and I am here for it, and I can't wait for more. So, there's a David Bowie song about Sarah getting abducted, and that is literally how the Legends find out she was abducted. That is the show. They're running around. They're like, "Where's Sarah?" And then David Bowie is singing a song about a blonde getting abducted, and they're all like, "Oh my God, she got abducted by aliens!"
Wow.
So we do have a little bit of other DC news that isn't specifically casting, but DC Fandom will be returning. In October 16, 2021.
Nice.
It's exciting because the first DC Fandom I thought was pretty solid. I definitely preferred the first day to the second when it was film over TV, not because I preferred the content necessarily, but I preferred the way that they did it because it felt more like a con versus just you were picking videos to watch on Hulu.
For sure.
I'm really curious about this because Comic-Con is supposed to have an in-person event in November, Thanksgiving weekend. So if DC is also doing virtual fandom, does that mean we're not really going to get a presence from them? I mean, Comic-Con being Thanksgiving weekend is a little wow, you guys are going to make people do this instead of see their family? All right. They've only been stuck in isolation.
The weird thing I don't mind about that is that's actually my birthday weekend because my birthday is always at the end of November near Thanksgiving, but I totally get that.
Mine too.
Okay, all right.
November 30.
I think the
29.
Oh my, yeah, that's right. We've talked about this before.
Yes, our birthdays are a day apart from each other. But anyway.
That's right, yeah.
I think the people I feel bad for, yes, of course, the people that have to cover it, but the talent and stuff that maybe want to go see their family instead of
for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Man, some of the stuff you have to give up when you do that life. I mean, it's an amazing life, but it does seem like it can be tough on that route sometimes.
But yeah, so DC Fandom is coming back. I'm excited for it, but I'm also curious if that means we're not going to have a huge DC presence at this year's Comic-Con, which unless it's set up in a way where you have to be there to have a good spot in 2022, I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't have a huge presence from a lot of these places. But that is our kind of more broad DC news, and now we are going to get into casting. And Bryce finally has a chance to talk about Titans without me shutting him down.
Yeah, so we got some casting news for Titans. We got Scarecrow. Yes, another character we're going to be shoehorning into the show. Awesome. It's Scarecrow. He's going to be played by Vincent Kartheiser. I think that's maybe how you pronounce it. He's been known for projects such as The OA, Saints and Strangers, Mad Men, The Social Network, that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we're getting Scarecrow.
I think it's
What's
Scarecrow.
I
think it's Scarecrow that's in Arkham, right? So that should be exciting. They did announce Scarecrow at last year's DC Fandom, but now we actually get to like see who's playing him.
So I'm just kind of over it. Titan season 2 was let's do this, let's have this character, that character. And it was kind of supposed to be the Nightwing story. And Nightwing was supposed to be really freaking awesome. And then he kind of sucked really bad. It was actually terrible. And so Superboy was fine. It's just I kind of wasn't looking for a Superboy story. It was supposed to be the Nightwing story. And so
I thought season 1 was supposed to be the Nightwing story.
Right, okay, well, you're right on that one too. So
I hate to break it to you, Bryce. I feel like Titan's Nightwing story is angst, and then other stuff happens.
Sounds pretty. Sounds a little DCEU-ish to me.
I'm trying to magically come up with something good to say about Titans.
I'm not a huge fan of their version of Nightwing. I was also super bummed that, like, spoilers, but freaking Donna Troy died. That sucked. I liked her.
Don't even get me started. Do not even. We will be here for another hour and a half. We can talk about this afterwards, but yeah, don't even get me started on Donna Troy.
All right. Well, I touched a nerve, so I'm gonna very quickly sidestep that and move
Sidebar.
Whoops. So still in the DC TV realm, but over on the CW, we got our first look at the new series Naomi with a poster that is very reminiscent of the first comic book cover. So we get to see the actress that's playing Naomi for the first time, Casey Walfall. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She looks cool. And it really does look like the comics, so that's really exciting. That's very interesting. The series is kind of this interesting idea that obviously is like from the comics as well, but it's kind of this more investigative thing. It's like investigating kind of a supernatural event in her hometown. So the fact that in the poster and the comic book cover, obviously she's surrounded by sort of like these newspaper stories that she's pinning and that has these like different strings connecting is very cool imagery. Totally makes sense. And I'm excited for this series.
And this is Arrowverse, right?
Yeah.
CW Arrowverse.
Is coming out like the fall?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be cool. I like the investigative stuff in bringing that into it, because we have that a little bit with the Flash because he's a CSI, but it's not really his major aspect. And then like most of the others are not investigative based. They're just kind of superhero-y, or if you're Legends, it's who knows.
Imagine if they just gave us
craziness.
a Batman show, or if they did that in Batwoman. That would be cool.
Right.
Batwoman has they're not the best at the investigative stuff necessarily. I think they need to improve on that. So maybe they can kind of see how it's done over here and take some ideas. I like Batwoman. I do. It's just it doesn't have that.
I want to like Batwoman. Is the thing. Like, I really want to like that show because I love the Bat family. I love all those characters.
I love Rachel Skarsten, who plays Alice. She's
yes. Oh my gosh, she is so. I mean, her back must be broken with the weight of the show that she is carrying.
Oh my god,
it is unbelievable. She is amazing.
I've been a fan of hers for a very long time, ever since she was on a Canadian sci-fi show, like myth-based show back in the day called Lost Girl.
She was on Birds of Prey as well, right?
Yeah.
She was what's it? Black Canary's daughter, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
so.
All right.
Yeah. So like, Batwoman with all its problems is worth it for Alice, I think.
Yes. Honestly, I agree. Her character is absolutely amazing. I love Alice so much. She is without a doubt the best part of that show.
And we do have a little bit more casting news for DC TV, but that is also going to be connected to some other news that we have on the DC movie front. And I know Bryce is excited to talk about both of those.
Yeah, so I think I've somehow become the Green Lantern guy on the Illuminerdi. That used to be Brax, but now I'm getting all the Green Lantern stuff, which is cool. I like Green Lantern. But for the series to start off with, the Green Lantern series on HBO Max. Finn Wittrock has been cast as Guy Gardner for the series, so that's really cool. He's an American Horror Story alum, so that's pretty cool.
He's also
he's
also a Disney Channel alum. He was in Halloween Town High.
Was he really? That is hilarious.
Yeah.
I definitely watched those movies as a kid. That's so funny.
I like the Halloween Town movies, so on the Disney Channel.
I'm a fan of those too, but I love that that's what you grab. You're like, he was in Halloween Town High, people. Well, we know it's gonna be good.
I was talking to my wife about it, and she's an even bigger Halloween Town fan than me, and she saw the article, and she's like, "Hey, that's the guy from Halloween Town High."
But I'm kind of looking forward to Guy Gardner. Believe it or not, I know I never thought I would say that. But coming off of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I kind of want them to do sort of a John Walker thing with him. I think that'd be really cool.
Well, what we sort of know about Guy Gardner, because we did have a character description that we broke a while ago, so we have that information, but like before we really get into kind of the character breakdown, we also know he's going to be working with a new Green Lantern character that I think is specific to the show.
Right.
Not in the comics.
Yeah.
Right.
I forget her name.
Okay.
So they're going well, we're going off the name that we have, but it could very well be a code name. We're not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Because this was reported.
Yeah, did you have it pulled up, Caitlin?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just one
Sweet.
moment.
Yeah.
It was revealed by Richard's other site, The Direct, actually.
Yeah.
A little while ago. But so the character that he's working with, as far as we know, is named Bree Jarta, and she's half human, half alien, and they're working together in like 1984. Yes. So I think it is going to be sort of that, like Falcon Winter Soldier is a great thing to bring up because I feel like it is going to be sort of that buddy cop dynamic. And I think that's going to be work in Guy Gardner's favor because Guy Gardner is like, he's a jerk. That's kind of his character. Like even the character description we have, it's this like huge hulking hulking mass of masculinity as rendered in the comics. He's like the personification of hyper patriotism from the 80s, like Hulk Hogan or Rambo.
John Walker.
He's
John
still
Walker,
but in the 80s.
He acts foolish, but he's not a fool. He loves his wife and daughter with all of his hard partying, fast driving, hot tempered heart. But like many alpha males, there's a deep undercurrent of pain driving it all. So I think teaming him up with someone is the exact right choice. And also this guy that they have playing him, based on his look alone, I totally see the jerk vibes there. I'm not saying
he's got the John Walker thing going for sure.
I'm not saying the actor's a jerk. I'm sure he's great, but he's got the face to be Guy Gardner for sure.
Well, I mean, I look at Wyatt Russell, and I don't immediately go, "That's John Walker," but you see him play John Walker, and you go,
"You can see it.
That's John Walker." And I feel like it's probably going to be the same with this guy as well. I mean, he's not like huge or anything like some like big hulking dude, but I definitely think that he will be able to. Again, this is me going off of his look, But I definitely think that he will be a very, again, like Wyatt Russell with John Walker, where it's like you would expect him to be the Guy Gardner or the John Walker type, but then once you actually see him play the character, like I think he's going to be really awesome.
Yeah, I think the thing with me I'm most excited for about this series is even as much as like DC fans love Hal Jordan and the classic Green Lantern story, it's gonna be nice to get something different in the Green Lantern story. I mean, we know they're casting for Sinestro from the exclusive I wrote up a few weeks ago,
not exclusive.
No, not exclusive. Right. My bad. Yeah. But
the article,
yes, the article I wrote about Sinestro the other few weeks ago, but. It'll be interesting to see a different dynamic to the Green Lantern, like a different side of that story.
Yeah, well, there's a huge amount of Green Lanterns. So the fact that we're going to really get to focus on a lot of different ones, and it's 3 time periods. So we get to explore different Green Lanterns through that. It's really exciting. What?
I thought each Lantern was going to have a different time period.
No.
Okay.
It's the 40s, I think, which is... Alan.
Well, here I am. I'm supposed to be the Green Lantern guy.
Yes, Alan Scott, and he's in like the 40s.
Yeah.
You have Bree Jarda and Guy Gardner. And actually, we broke Bree Jarda because that was one of the character descriptions we broke. So I apologize. I got that wrong. The name was ours.
Yeah, no worries.
But so you have them in the 80s, and then I think we're getting a couple other the newer
Simon
Green
Baz
Lantern.
and Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, I think the direct broke the time periods one. I think that's the one that we broke at the direct. Yeah,
they did. And so I would not be shocked if we saw the characters that Bryce just mentioned in more of a current time period.
Yeah. Simon Baz. Well, I thought that Simon Baz was going to be, because they were talking a lot about 9/11 with Simon Baz, so I was figuring that Simon Baz was going to be 2000s, and then Jessica Cruz was going to be 2010s, because they talked a lot about Simon Baz being a Middle Eastern man, coming off of 9/11, and Jessica Cruz seemed like a lot more modern, like present day. So
I think they can still do it because there's still a huge amount of like prejudice against people that are Middle Eastern.
Yeah,
definitely.
So it definitely could still work in 2021 for sure.
Yeah, but no, I'm excited for Green Lantern. I think this is a pretty solid casting choice. Like we said, from looks alone, it definitely seems to fit.
He looks like he can pull it off.
We also have a little bit of news from the Green Lantern movie side.
Yeah, so we got some Green Lantern Corps news. A surprise. That movie's still happening apparently. And this is coming from Heroic Hollywood, and it's basically kind of confirming the rumors that Jon Stewart is going to be kind of the main Lantern in this movie, and then Hal Jordan will also be in the movie, but more as like a mentor figure to Stewart. I think this is really cool. Obviously, with it being Green Lantern Corps, we're going to see a lot more of the Corps in general. So I think that's going to be really awesome. I love that we're getting to see both Hal and John, and Hal in more of a mentor role, with John being the actual protagonist of the movie. I think that's really cool because obviously we haven't seen John technically in live action yet. Not, at least not on the big screen. Obviously, we've seen John Diggle, but we haven't actually seen him fully become Green Lantern yet. But
we suspect we will on some of the different shows this year,
though. Rain, let's just do it already. But yeah, I'm really excited to see a lot more of the Corps. I think Kilowog is an obvious choice for this movie. I'd be surprised if Sinestro's not involved. Although it's going to be interesting to see if this show and this movie are going to be connected in some way. I'm inclined to say no, but it's also they're making both at what seems to be around the same time frame. I think
this is definitely an opportunity for DC to do that, especially because the show is HBO Max, not CW. So I definitely think it's an opportunity to do that. I don't know that they're going to use the opportunity.
Yeah. So I'm the exact same boat. Like, it's the opportunity is there, but I don't think that they're gonna do it. But they could.
It feels more like they're using television, like not connecting television to the movies where television comes first. It feels more like they're using television as a spin-off avenue from the movies.
Yeah,
for sure.
But
it's still cool. I'm excited. I mean, it's about time we see Jon Stewart on the big screen. Like I said, we've seen him on the small screen, kind of, but
almost.
Yeah. Little.
In the 2011 movie, we got Hal Jordan. We haven't had a movie since.
What if they got Ryan Reynolds to play Hal Jordan?
I want that so bad. You have no idea. I want it so bad. Like, not even because I think it would be good, just because of the pure irony and the hilarity behind it. Like, I want him to play Hal Jordan so bad. Like, and he almost did for Zack Snyder's Justice League as well.
That would have been ridiculous.
I'm excited. I am always a fan of seeing veteran superheroes because the origin story is, of course, important, but we see it a lot. So I'm always excited about seeing superheroes that have been kind of doing this for a little while. And, like, yes, they usually are in a mentorship role, but even just seeing them, like, competent superheroes are cool.
Yeah. I liked when they did that with, to an extent, Spider-Man Homecoming and with Black Panther.
You mean when Spider-Man Homecoming lied with...
Well, yeah, there's that.
Hey, Yeah, Green Lantern, awesome. I'm excited to see Jon Stewart. He's definitely one of the best Lanterns. Period.
Should be
I
good.
don't think that's really up for debate. And definitely one of the most popular, well known at least. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
And we are assuming that we're gonna, because John Diggle is said to be appearing in most of the Arrowverse shows this year, so the assumption is he'll be Green Lantern in some capacity. And before we move on to our next bit of casting news, Donnie Pearson said, speaking of the DC, 2 weeks more till the mid-season premiere of the CW Superman and Lois. So that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be good.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun.
Sorry, I was just.
I thought we were moving on.
I thought we were leading up there for a second.
Cool. I'm Superman and Lois. It was off to a great start. They had to stop because of COVID. So it's cool to see it coming back.
Hopefully, we get. I haven't watched last week's Supergirl, so if it already happened, then great. But as far as I'm aware, as a week behind, hopefully we'll have Supergirl reunite with her team for the final season. It's the season finale. That'd be great.
Right.
Wait, is that coming up? What's the season finale?
The mid-season finale. Well, I think.
Oh, the mid-season finale.
Yeah. So hopefully, as I said, I'm a week behind. So if it happened last Sunday, awesome. I can't wait to watch it. But if it hasn't, I'm hoping that they get reunited so we can have at least half of the season where Supergirl is not just hanging out in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, right.
But we have a bit more casting news actually for Black Adam, and this is one that we are going to, I guess, speculate. We could say technically.
I love this so much. This is my favorite story all day.
This is a pretty good one. So the casting news that we have, I think it was either Deadline or one of the big ones that reported it. I hope I don't butcher this name. Uli Latukefu is cast in a mystery role in Black Adam. Here's the interesting thing, though. He plays Young Rock in the show on NBC, Young Rock, which is obviously based on Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
This is the greatest story all day. Like, this is
speculation is I would assume he's playing young Black Adam, but
or like an ancestor, maybe, or like not like descendant of him, maybe.
Maybe.
This is hilarious. I love this.
But no, like him being young Black Adam, of course, makes the most sense. But I'm having a moment of like, if it's a mystery role, please let it actually be a mystery.
Young
not
Rock
just Young
in a movie
Rock
with The Rock. I wonder.
Young Rock, DC version.
That's why I'm hoping a little bit it's like a descendant. Like, it totally makes the most sense for him to be a flashback.
I want Young Rock in the DCEU to be Young Rock. I want him to be young Black Adam. That'd
be pretty funny.
Oh my gosh, that would just be so funny.
But yeah,
so that's perfect.
That's the casting news that we have.
Yes, I love that so much.
I think we're gonna close this out with Bryce getting to talk about The Flash.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, The Flash is kind of an interesting movie for me. I really like Ezra Miller in the role of the Flash. Other stuff aside, and so it's gonna be really interesting because we know we're dealing with somewhat Flashpoint kind of stuff because we're getting Ben Affleck back, we're getting Michael Keaton back, and it's looking to be this sort of reset of the DCEU. And I said a couple weeks back that I won't believe that The Flash is a movie that's actually being made until we see set photos. Well, today, at least a couple days ago, we're here. They're filming. We have set photos.
It's officially a movie that is in production.
Yes, and what we got set photos of was especially interesting because we got set photos of Wayne Manor, but the Michael Keaton Wayne Manor. So that's going to be really cool. So, I mean, as if you needed any more confirmation that he's in the movie.
We have Michael Keaton, Wayne Manor, no Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds like something that would happen in this movie.
Michael Keaton.
It's the
Wayne
DCU
Manor
that wouldn't shock me.
So
yeah.
But I definitely think the actual story of this is that they're actually filming the damn thing.
Right. You know what the thing I'm curious about, and this kind of ties back to a little Marvel too with Spider-Man No Way Home. The way that Spider-Man 2 and like The Amazing Spider-Man 2 could possibly be now canon with No Way Home in the MCU. Will this be the same case with the Michael Keaton Batman movies and The Flash within the DCEU?
I think so.
I feel like it's got to be, because it's like, I really think they're not just doing like the Flashpoint time travel stuff. Like, they're really going to dive into the multiverse too.
I mean, they're not just going to do it for fun, right? So
I'm leaning more toward yes also.
So this really feels like a movie where they're doing a hard reset, they're doing Flashpoint, and they're doing multiverse. So having Michael Keaton come in and like the fact that it's his it's Wayne Manor to me is not just, oh, we grab him. It's, oh, he's established. This
is a really solid thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. It's cool that they're finally filming it. This movie was supposed to come out in 2018. So we're here.
Sad.
They're filming it.
Right. This film was supposed to come out before Infinity War, I think.
And now it's going to come out in 2022. So November 2022, right?
We hope.
They're filming it. I mean, so.
And it was funny. I think this comes out like a week before Captain Marvel or the Marvels.
Is that true?
Oh my God. Yeah. Because I think that one you said comes out on November 11th. I think The Flash comes out on November 4th.
They're screwed.
Good luck.
They're, The Flash, that is.
Good luck.
I love Marvel. Marvel's doing that on purpose. Marvel was like, oh, you have the Flash movie coming out? Bam! Never mind.
Oh,
you remember when Batman v Superman and Captain America Civil War were supposed to come out on the same day?
Right?
Yeah.
American Civil War decided to do Civil War because they're worried about Batman v Superman?
Remember when they were worried about Batman v Superman for anything?
Yeah, remember when the MCU was worried about the DCEU? That's where it died.
I
think that died by like movie, 2?
1?
Possibly 1.
They saw Man of Steel and they're just like, I'm not a fan of Man of Steel. I know a lot of other people are, but I mean, Marvel, DC, they're like, we're good.
The great thing too was, I think like right after Man of Steel for the Marvel was I think Thor: The Dark World, but then less than a year later was Winter Soldier, which is like regarded as one of the greatest superhero movies ever. Like we're fine, we're good.
I think that does it for today.
Marvel did that on purpose. Like they were
I
like,
kind of hope so.
That's so cute. You have your movie coming out.
Boom.
Yeah, so that's all for today, folks.
So Bryce is trying to pull us off of this because he's a DC fan. So we're going to
cut it off here.
We're gonna let it go. We're gonna let it go. He's already got the Titan stuff that is kind of killing his soul. So we're gonna lay off the DCU a little bit here.
You know what? I'll end it with this. I think we're in for a really good couple of years, Marvel and DC, because DC has some films that I will say I'm legit excited for, like the Batman Suicide Squad. I think they're going to be pretty good, and Marvel's doing what Marvel does. So
and Star Wars is like they've got a lot of stuff coming on the TV side of it as well, and we know they got some movies coming as well. We don't know as much about them, but I mean, I'm pretty excited about Rogue Squadron, and you can't really go wrong with Taika Waititi.
It's a good time to be a sci-fi / comic book movie fan.
Yep. Sure. So, like Bryce said, I think that is all of our big stuff for this week. Please join us on the Star Wars Watch Along Thursday at 11 p.m. Pacific. We will be watching episode 2 of The Bad Batch, which is like a half-hour episode instead of 70 minutes.
Half the length. It's gonna be nice. We'll get a little bit of sleep.
And join us for It's All Connected for a new episode on Sunday at 3:30 Pacific. That will be our new time and date
going forward.
If there are any changes, we will keep you updated. But yes, please join us this Sunday, May 9th at 3:30 Pacific for a new episode of It's All Connected.
Yep.
Yep, May 9th.
And the many, many, many other shows. We've got wrestling. We've got like any Power Rangers show you could want.
Right.
We got 4 of them, yeah. So we got plenty of.
4's a lot. 4's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah, it's all. What the hell is my own show? It's on a break right now. Good Lord.
Well, it used to be You Knew Cap Recap.
Yeah, it used to be New Cap Recap. I'll be coming back with the Loki lowdown.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I love that so much.
We also
the
have
Loki lowdown. Oh my gosh, yes.
The Riker maneuver. We also have the Riker maneuver, which is a Star Trek show.
Right.
So we've got a lot
something
of
for everybody.
Yeah, a lot of stuff, and we are so happy that you guys wanted to join us, and we can't wait to see you again next week. I think that is all that we have for today.
Media. Links into
yes.
Our handles are in the description.
Yes, and follow the Illuminerdi.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that covers it, everybody. So thank you all for watching this week's episode of It's All Connected. And remember, here at the Illuminerdi, we're always watching. Take care.
See ya.